I mean, Tom Sandoval is probably a narcissist.
When I first heard that Ariana was coming to Sir, I was excited. She's a good friend of mine, and she's cool, and she's chill.
Me and Raquel became, like, really good friends.
You can go ahead and use your muddler. Oh, no, wait, you didn't bring one.
Oh, yeah.
Work it.
Don't you dare talk to me about a deep connection.
I have a connection with Ariana unlike anything I have ever had before.
I cannot believe you.
He did this to Kristen. He did it to Ariana.
Because right now, this one would say, fall into the ocean.
He got bored with Ariana.
I wouldn't want you to be any other way.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we please go home?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
He wants to go be with the sloppy drunk, and she's fun.
What happened to you? No, Kristen, you were fine. You were fine 15 seconds ago.
Kristen! I'm fine. Bye.
Okay.
Oh
my
God.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
here we go.
How many glasses in were you?
I mean, I don't know. I lose count. I lose count. I'm a mess.
He got off on the fact that he could sneak around.
Because I would feel horrible.
I'm okay. It doesn't bother me. Tom and Kristen's relationship is bullshit. She's got to get laid. So do I. So I'm okay. I sleep good at night.
I'm just wondering, like, you don't ever, like, feel anything. It's like
We had
nuts.
this conversation.
You ever feel this?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey, what's up? Today we're going to talk about Vanderpump Rules episode 15. This is our finale episode that was recorded 3 months later after the season had already aired and shot and was wrapped. They picked up cameras and we got this. This is once Scandoval has already broke out. So let's see how this all happened. This episode is called #Scandoval. Okay, let's get into it. The episode starts with a date. This is the day that Scheana and Raquel were on Watch What Happens Live with Andy when Raquel says Sandoval is the cutest guy, and Scheana says Sandoval's the cutest guy. Scheana says that she said Sandoval because she thought Raquel had a thing for Schwartz, and she thought Raquel was gonna say Schwartz. So she didn't want them both to say Schwartz, but Scheana was very surprised by Raquel's answer. And after this is when it all broke down. Basically, Ariana sees on Sandoval's phone a FaceTime video. Yes, she put herself on video. She should have listened to Stassi's advice back in the day.
We should stop making sex tapes.
The way the wife found out is she went through phone and saw sex tape videos of them.
No!
Yes. Ew.
What?
That's how I feel.
Women of America, stop recording yourself having sex. I know from personal experience, it always gets out there. This is my PSA.
But anyways, it was a FaceTime screen recording that Sandoval had taken of him and Raquel doing things on the phone. And I noticed this whole episode, nobody flat out says what Raquel was doing on the phone. So I think it might be because she like threatened everybody that she would sue if they mentioned it. Like, I don't know, nobody gets into great detail what was going on that phone. So I find that interesting.
I found a screen recording in his camera roll of Raquel and Tom on FaceTime.
But anyways, yeah, Tom was at a band thing. His phone falls out of his pocket. Ariana sees this and it all breaks down. Sandoval basically rushes her into a car because he doesn't want to talk about it in public, aka he doesn't want to ruin his image and look bad. He's not ready to come out to the whole world, so he rushes her into a car and they get on the phone in the car. Ariana's on the phone with Scheana. Sandoval calls Raquel, and they're all listening to each other, and it's this whole mishmash, and they're trying to figure out when this all started, and it is just crazy. And this, of course, is when Scheana takes her phone, Raquel's phone, and throws it in the gutter. I heard something like that, and Ariana spoke about that and kind of confirmed it. So I think Scheana did throw her phone in the gutter at some point, but what ultimately caused the little scratch on Raquel's face was a push. Scheana says it was a push. That's it. She grabbed my wrist, I pushed her. So let's stop with the punch, Raquel. Starting off this episode strong, by the way. There was no like previously Vanderpump Rules little moment, and there was no theme song in this episode. They just got right into it with that date for Watch What Happens Live. It was March 1st, 2023. I'm making a timeline of when this all went down, so I knew this was March 1st, so that is the day that Ariana finds out about the Scandoval. I wanted to say that when this all happened, I wondered like why Ariana would look through the messages with Sandoval and Raquel. Like I'm like, was she suspicious? Like why, when you got his phone when it fell, why would you look through the messages of him and Raquel? So then I thought like maybe a message popped up while you were like Raquel, for instance, was saying like, hey Tom, like something casual while you had the phone. So you opened the thread and you saw like the exchanges between Raquel and Sandoval, you know? Like I thought maybe it was like innocent enough, like how Ariana stumbled upon it. So I just wondered how she saw this, but it turns out Ariana is a smart girl and she went onto that camera roll and she saw a screen recording. And Sandoval says, normally I would delete something like this, but I was really busy that day. So it like makes me think that the video was recent, like possibly that day, like I'm not sure. His wording is kind of like interesting here.
I would normally delete something like that, but it had been such a busy day.
Yeah, so Ariana calls Raquel on Sandoval's phone, I'm pretty sure. And then Sheena calls Ariana on her phone. So that's how they all end up on the phone together in the car. The whole thing about Raquel nonchalantly saying while she's on the phone with Ariana, like, yeah, they're having a 7-month affair, to Sheena, that's totally true. Sandoval even starts this episode saying, like, I know what I did was wrong, but we just weren't happy anymore.
I know what I did was really up. I love her and I care about her. I just don't think we were happy. I really don't.
There's no excuse. You got caught with an affair, okay? You got caught in an affair situation. You guys didn't break up and you're telling us like, well, we weren't happy. It doesn't matter if you weren't happy. You cheated. Like that's the first thing he says. Like no accountability from the start of this episode. I thought it was interesting too that they started the episode with Ariana and Sandoval talking. Like they got right into it and gave us what we wanted. Like they didn't leave this conversation to the end. Like this is the biggest conversation, you know? But no, they gave us in the very start of the episode. Ariana looks great, by the way, even though she's devastated. I think it's so funny too because Sandoval has seriously been matching his personality. Like he literally wore red for the first scene. Like, yep, that's exactly what you should be wearing, you demon, you. Red, I'm like, yeah, you're evil. You should be wearing red, you know? And then he's wearing like, in this scene when he walks up and Ariana's sitting in the living room, he walks up shuffling with these slippers and they're bright red.
He gives me the ick.
Yeah. Can I bring you anything?
Clearly, Sandoval is wearing AirPods on top of shuffling his feet, which means, 1, he either blasts his music so loud that he can't hear anything around him, which is annoying, or 2, he regularly does this, choosing to ignore his surroundings, so I don't think he would be asking Ariana if she needs anything. Fake.
I'm okay. Thanks, though.
Let's say Sandoval did not hear Meredith ask her this very same question. Do you really think she would need anything from you? Her friend is literally here consoling her. You don't think she's keeping her hydrated? He's also heavily sighing and starting the scene completely bothered, but wants to act like he's being polite.
Do you want anything?
For you to die.
And I'm just like, ugh, those are so ugly, but they match your personality so well. And literally, Sandoval is so fake, okay? Because Meredith is like, can I get you anything? And Ariana's like, no, I'm fine. And then Sandoval walks up right after that. Like, there's no way he doesn't know that the friend asked, you know? He walks up right after and he's like, shuffling his feet in those dreadful slippers. And he's like, can I get you anything? Like, this is how he chooses to start this scene. Like, it's uncomfortable. It's intense. And you start the scene like this, like, oh, can I get you anything? She's like, for you to die. You know, like, that's what I want. That's what I want from you. Like, he's so ridiculous. Like, the way he just comes up like this, like, casually acting stupid. Like, what is wrong with you? It just seems so fake, him asking her if she wants something. Like, you don't care to get her something. You don't need to ask her. You probably walk up all the time and grab things, and you don't ask her anything. But right now that the camera's there, you're gonna ask, do you want anything? Like, so fake. Ariana talks about if he's going to be with Raquel, if he hung out with her, and he's like, no, I was with Schwartz. And she's like, yeah, but while you were with Schwartz, you were taking that video FaceTiming Raquel. So it happened at Schwartz's house, so Schwartz is definitely complacent in this situation. So he's like, she's like, you being at Schwartz's house means nothing, and he's like, ugh, so embarrassing. And then right away he gives her a fake apology. Like, he's like, I haven't been apologizing because you're mean. She's like, so, basically. And then he's like, sorry I hurt you.
You were also at Schwartz's when you were together on FaceTime. Still haven't said sorry for what you actually did.
Every time I try to apologize, it just makes you more angry.
Good, let me be angry.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. I really did not want to hurt you.
Like, that's such a half apology, you know? Like, you're not saying, I'm sorry I did something. It's, I'm sorry you're hurt. I'm sorry you misunderstood, you know? He's like, I'm sorry I hurt you. Oh my God, like, just say what you did and apologize for that, okay? Can you at least get that through your thick skull? She's like, you don't want to hurt me, but you're cheating with my friend and you keep doing it over and over again. And then he's like, we stopped for a while.
You didn't want to hurt me, but then you continued to do something over and over and over again.
Dude. It happened, and it didn't happen for a while.
Oh, great.
It's like, you know what? You say that you guys hooked up at the Life is Beautiful thing, which is in September.
The crew's here!
September 15th through 17th. And Sheena's wedding is August 23rd. And before that, you hooked up with her, like about 2 weeks before that. Yes, guys, I'm making a timeline. I'll release that video later. But anyways, so if you think about it, it's like August, and then September 15th is when you're admitting to hooking up with her, which means it happened before then. But if we listen to what he said, that's literally less than a month before you hooked up with her again.
Oh, wow.
So saying it's been a while, it was a while and we stopped, you mean a month? A month is a while? Like, that's not a while, bro, at all. Literally, like, and, maybe that is a while to him because he expects to hook up like every second, but that's a lie.
Tom screwed a bottle service skank in Vegas. All of my friends told me to break up with him. It's not that simple to just call it quits. When would you like to have a conversation?
Like, you haven't been out drinking all night.
Just because you've been in a relationship a long time doesn't mean things can get comfortable and you just fall off the mat. I don't see you. We were stagnant. I get it. We weren't happy. We were acting like roommates.
We also hadn't had sex in 3 months.
But I did not go around and someone behind your back.
So either he's just straight up, actually, there's no options here. He's just straight up lying to her face.
Stop.
Okay, because then he does tell her, we hooked up at Life is Beautiful again. Well, that's a month later, bro. So, no, you didn't wait a while to not, because you felt bad, even though that makes no sense at all. But he's like, we waited, we stopped, we felt bad. You didn't wait 4 weeks? That's what you waited? And I'm sure you hooked up before your admission, because Sheena's wedding is the time that people think you hooked up too. And then Ariana gives us the best read ever. This is possibly the best read on reality television, like, ever. She's like, I was with you 9 years when you had nothing. And they show pictures of him, and Ariana is so hot, so beautiful, way out of his league, and he just looks like a little dork. And she's like, you get a little bit of money, you get a little band, and he's like sitting there like, I'm sure he's just fuming, like, my band is so cool, don't say that, you know? And she's like, and you find some girl that's enamored with all these things, and that's what you want, huh? You just want someone to gas you up.
I loved you then, when you had nothing. Got a little bit of money, a little band. And this girl is like gonna act like enamored with you. Oh my God, he's so awesome. Cause that's what you want, huh? You want someone to just gas you up. That girl is searching for identity in men. She has no identity of her own. And that's someone you think is like a good person you should be around?
I don't know how it happened. It happened.
It's like, yep, that's exactly what he wants. That's all he's interested in. Somebody that thinks he's so cool and his band is so awesome. Like, literally, it's pathetic. And she's like, that girl, she has issues. Like, she's so right. She's like, she's searching for validation, identity in men. And it's like, yes, that's what I've been saying. Hallelujah. Like, Ariana is so freaking smart. Like, that's what I've been saying about Raquel this whole time. Like, she just seeks male validation so hard. Everything she does is for the male gaze. Like, literally, like, even like when she went to go talk to Katie outside and apologize, it was only because Schwartz was standing there and she wanted to look good, you know? Like, everything she does is to look good in front of men. Like, who cares about the women, you know? It's crazy. Like, Ariana totally sees this, and she's like, a girl that would steal like the boyfriend of her best friend, that's the kind of person you want around you. Like, it even explains, like, you are so dumb, you think this is a good person. Like, it's so good. Ariana literally gets into all of it and is basically like, you think Raquel's such a great person and you guys are such good friends, like, you're missing the fact that she's actually a crappy person because she did this to someone that's her friend. Like, you don't see that? That's going over your head, Tweedledum, Tweedletom? It's like so crazy, you know? And he's just like, oh, like, he doesn't even, we had a connection. Like, oh my gosh, he drives me crazy. Literally, with the connection thing. And Ariana's like, don't you dare talk to me about a deep connection. Because that was their whole thing when they got together. He was like, we connect so deeply. They were friends when they first started their relationship.
Hey guys.
We became really good friends.
When I first heard that Ariana was coming over to Sir, I was excited. She's a good friend of mine, and she's cool, and she's chill.
I was seeking something that I wasn't getting here. That's selfish. It's really selfish. Me and Raquel became like really good friends.
You can go ahead and use your muddler. Oh, no, wait, you didn't bring one.
Oh, yeah.
Work it.
I don't like all the armpit exposure that gives.
Why? Pits are awesome. Clavicles was like 2012.
Now it's about pits?
Yeah, dude, I reached.
Don't give a
About Raquel! Your friendship is bullshit!
No, it's not!
Yes, it is! It's disgusting!
You know everything! You know
It's disgusting!
everything!
You are disgusting! Your friendship with Raquel is disgusting!
You cannot. Well, guess what? It's real because she treats me with respect. Something I haven't gotten from you in a long time. I'm not saying you're the scapegoat. I'm trying to get you to understand that, like,
that you just had to my friend.
it was about a connection where we actually, like, were respecting each other, giving each other confidence.
I'm glad that Tom Sandoval's training me at Sir.
Ready? Raspberry mojito. Go to work, my young apprentice.
I lost all my mojo.
So my friend. My friend then. Get your mojo back, my friend.
It's not just about somebody stroking my ego that this happened. She believes in me.
He makes a killer drink. I'm really proud of you, and I'm really excited to try the cocktails on the menu.
It's not about looks.
I think Ariana is beautiful.
It came from something much deeper.
I can honestly say I've never been this happy.
Like, as time went on, like, we became the support system. You busy tonight?
It's steady. I don't feel like Tom and I started dating. I feel like we just stopped not dating. Don't you dare talk to me about a deep connection.
I have a connection with Ariana unlike anything I have ever had before.
I can't remember any time I've had a connection in a relationship like Ariana.
I cannot believe you.
I know you don't want to hear it.
Shut up!
None of his tactics are working, so this is when he starts to get mean.
It's important that you know
I don't
that.
want to hear it because it's disgusting. Shut up. Say it to her. When are you gonna see her next?
Tomorrow.
And what, are you guys gonna kiss, hug, talk about your deep connection?
I don't know.
Why don't you just say no?
It's like, now you're gonna tell her 10 years later that this is your deep connection? Like, oh please. This is just the person that you found to hook up with, that was allowing you to hook up with her, that had no scruples, that was around all the time, that was hooking up with everybody, the easiest girl, around you. Like, you didn't even put any effort into this one. She would have hooked up with any guy. Like, you are pathetic, Sandoval. You should have put effort to not hook up with this one because it would hurt more than anybody else. Like, literally, you had no consideration, no thought process, nothing. You know? It's crazy. Like, no consideration of how much you would hurt your girl, you know? By the way, Reunion Part 1 has come out and I watched it. It was pretty good. Not super juicy, but it was good. I loved James yelling at Sandoval and calling him a worm with a mustache because that is what he is, okay? And I always said Raquel is the rotten forbidden fruit. He's the little wormy, okay? Just saying. And anyways, I also noticed that at some point the Toms were called Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I thought that was so funny because that's what I referred to them here, the Tweedle Toms. So I just love that. Like, yes, your moniker is so official. Everybody sees it. You guys are Tweedledum dumbasses. You guys are Tweedledums, okay? Literally, the Tweedletoms. I just love that moment. Anyways, let's keep talking about this conversation. Also, Ariana refers to their friendship as disgusting.
You know everything!
Which I love, because that's the exact word I've been using too. It is disgusting. That's all you can describe it as. And he literally describes a midlife crisis like to the T. He's like, when I turned 40, I'm like, is this gonna be the rest of my life? She's like, yeah, we could have gotten through that together. We could have gone to therapy. It's like you're literally describing a midlife crisis. That's what everybody goes through when they turn 40, bro. But the problem is, instead of facing it and like growing and realizing like I'm 40, my life's not over, things are just gonna change a little. No, he's like, he reverts back and doesn't want to face the midlife crisis and tries to be 25 again, hanging out in bars with girls that want to party all night. It's like he doesn't want to evolve into an adult like Ariana, who says, I like to go out, but weekends. I don't want to go out every night. No, he wants to be out every night till 4 in the morning drinking. Like, he doesn't want to grow up. He used to talk about Jax having Peter Pan syndrome. You have it too, bro, and yours is even worse because at least Jax was able to settle down, okay?
Sleep better at night? Like, just like, you do this, you do this. It's like, so what?
He constantly, like, lies and lies and lies. I really want Jackson to learn his lesson. You can't do whatever you want and expect there not to be consequences. Every kid learns that if you eat too much fudge, you get sick, so you don't eat too much fudge. Jax has never learned that. He just keeps on eating that fudge and keeps on getting sick.
I don't think, like, now that I think about it, I don't think Sandoval will ever settle down with somebody. I think he's so, like, freaky or whatever, you know, that he just wants to be hooking up with girls all the time, like new 30-year-old chicks, you know, while he's like 60. I think that's his future. Like, I always thought Ariana and Sandoval won't make it because he wants to get married and he probably wants kids, you know? But then I started to see, like, maybe they will make it because she said, I'm willing to make those changes, you know? But in the end, I think Ariana might end up with a child and a nice partner. And I think he'll end up 60 with nobody. Like, it's crazy the way that this is going. And Sandoval, his biggest complaint about the relationship is that he's never right, you know? Like, she never said you're right. But it's like, I'm beginning to think, like, it's probably because you were never right. You are so dense. When you think in a relationship, like, what direction should we take? Or, like, what should we do first? How should we plan things out? Where should we go? It's like, honestly, I think Ariana's ideas were probably right all the time. Like, the direction she picked were probably quicker, you know? Like, she knew what's going on. She's more aware than you are, Sandoval. Like, literally. I'm just saying, in their arguments or in their conversations, Ariana is so much smarter than Sandoval is that she probably was right all the time about everything. Like, you were never right because you're dating someone smarter than you, bro. Way smarter. Like, I think that's what was going on. So he had to downgrade to someone like a little bit slower that like can barely get the words out, you know? That's what he needed so that he could be right. It's like the last few months, the amount of times I got an apology. First of all, you were probably wrong. And second of all, for sure you were wrong because like Ariana says, you were hooking up with her friend at that point. Who cares? You're wrong. Whatever you're saying, you're wrong.
Still haven't said sorry for what you actually did.
Every time I try to apologize to you, it just makes you more angry.
You should still apologize.
I'm sorry.
Listen to all the excuses the deflector gives for having to have an affair with their best friend and keeping it a secret for 7 months.
I really did not want to hurt you.
You didn't want to hurt me, but then you continue to do something over and over and over and
Stop.
over again.
Dude, it happened. It didn't happen for a while. I don't know how it happened, it happened. Like I was seeking something that I wasn't getting here. We became really good friends. Your friendship is bullshit! No, it's not! Well, guess what? It's real because she treats me with respect. Something I haven't gotten from you in a long time. I'm trying to get you to understand that, like, it's about a connection where we actually, like, we're respecting each other. The relationship it wasn't the same, Ariana. We'd be separated all the time. You go your way, I go my way. I lost all my mojo. Mojo. You have no sex life.
Get your mojo back, my friend.
Ariana has the best responses for anything the deflector throws at her.
Once I turned 40, I was like, this can't be the rest of my life.
That's why you go to couples therapy together. And we could have. That is a very normal thing.
I know.
Either get through them together or you break up.
Like, dude, these past few months, the amount of times that I got an apology out of you.
The audacity to be mentioning an apology from her.
Last few months you were already my friend.
Truth is that you
You
were
put
already
pressure on me to stay in the relationship. 2 weeks ago, I was like, Ariana, I want to end things. You literally told me, I am not letting you break up with me. You have to force me out of this.
If that was true, you should have never been in my bed after that night.
You
should have
really
not
bad.
You felt bad?
Too late.
Already Raquel is
It wasn't that. It was.
So he's giving every excuse in the world except the truth. That's not one.
It wasn't that that you somebody else was not part of why you weren't there.
It's not easy.
It's not that easy.
Then don't be a coward.
Like, as time went on, like, we became this, like, support system. I know you don't want to hear it.
Shut up!
It's important that you know
I
that.
don't want to hear it because it's disgusting. Shut up! The fact that she's continued to smile in my face, while also smiling on FaceTime, is one of the most awful, disgusting things I've ever heard. Why don't you be sorry you ever did it?
And I find it so annoying too that he like is trying to find excuse after excuse. Like first he says what he says right now, and then he's like, you were putting pressure on me to stay in the relationship. Like trying to find different things to blame for why he's cheating, you know? Like he's like, I was never right. She's like, you were already cheating on me. You put pressure on me to stay in the relationship. Like, I wouldn't have been cheating if you didn't make me stay. And she's like, you know? And it's so funny because this whole conversation, he's like, it was hard. She's like, you shouldn't have slept in my bed afterwards. He's like, I felt bad.
If that was true, you should have never been in my bed after that night. You should have
really
not
bad.
You felt bad?
He stops short when he's saying that because he knows how ridiculous he sounds. Like, she's like, no, you shouldn't have hooked up with me again. You should have left. Like, breaking up is hard for you. That's why you didn't do it, because it hurts you, Scandoval. It's like, it's not to save Ariana pain. You're already cheating on her. Like, if you're saving her pain, you should break up with her. Like, she'll feel a little bit of pain, but it's nowhere near this. Like, you're saving your own self. Like, right now, he's feeling no pain. He's hooking up with Ariana still. He's hooking up with Raquel. Everything's good. Like, breaking up causes him a little bit of pain, so it was hard to do. You know? Like, it's all about himself. But, like, literally, it's like, breaking up with her was so difficult. She pressured you to stay with her. Like, please, don't embarrass her, okay? Don't sit here and embarrass her on camera and talk about, like, private conversations. Like, you don't want to live or whatever. It's like, really, dude? You're doing this to her? Because I have one thing to say about all of this. Breaking up with her was so hard. If you told her, I'm sleeping with Raquel, it would have been over. Guaranteed. Breaking up wouldn't have been hard. Like, if we're trying to win this game of, like, it's so tough, she was pressuring me to stay, I just couldn't get out, you wouldn't let me get out, I found a way out. Say I slept with Raquel. Tell her the truth. Then, it would definitively be over. She would be done with him. She wouldn't say, please stay, I still care, we can work this out. She wouldn't be trying even harder to be with you, because that's not okay. The only reason she's trying so hard is because she has no idea why you're breaking up with her. She thinks it's on the basis of, she thinks you're annoying, so she stopped doing that. She thinks it's because you might want kids. She's figuring that out. No, if you told her the real reason, the truth, you would have broken up with her. You didn't want to break up with her. Because later when he talks to Schwartz, he says, me and Raquel had to be on the same page about breaking up with her. Like the timing when they would do it. He says he was going to do it before the reunion because he couldn't be up there with her defending them. So he was going to try to do it before the reunion, but he says me and Raquel have to be on the same page. So you saying, oh, you wouldn't let me break up with you, you wouldn't let me. You really didn't want to. You and Raquel weren't on the same page. You say something else to Schwartz in your next scene that contradicts what you're saying now. Like, he's so dumb, you know? Like, you had no intention of breaking up with her because if you wanted to, I had the breakup card right here. Tell her the truth. Tell her what you're doing. She wouldn't have pressured you to stay in the relationship. Checkmate. Breaking up was so hard. You wanted me so bad. I know a way where she wouldn't want you. Tell her what you're doing. Tell her who you are. Disgusting. I've had a lot of opinions on when he wanted to break up with her, but if you want me to tell you the truth, I think his real plan, now that I'm really thinking about it, is during the reunion, he probably wanted to break up with her before then, right? So they would have stopped filming, it would have been reunion time. So that one little week in between stopping the filming and filming the reunion, or however long that time is, I'll look into it. I don't know if I'll have time before I release this, but during that little time, let's say week or so.
Ariana found out on March 1st, right? And March 23rd was always the reunion day. So this means that from September until March, he had 6 months to tell Ariana. To break this down further, she found out March 1st. So that means March 1st until March 23rd is the amount of time he had to tell her. Out of 6 months, he waited till the last 20 days. Are we really supposed to believe you were going to actually tell her before the reunion, the week before?
He wanted to break up with her then. I think it would have been before the reunion, because every reunion, when he does these sorts of things, he likes to start the reunion sitting next to the new girl. And this is us coming out, you know? So like he did it when he hooked up with Ariana. It was like they broke up, and on the reunion, it was like a devastating thing for Kristen, and he was sitting with Ariana.
Are the two of you dating now?
We've definitely been hanging out and things have been great.
So you're kind of dating?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure, fine, yeah.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thanks.
It's been awesome.
It's about time.
Oh, thanks. I'm like so much happier.
Like he likes to do it like that. So I think he wanted to break up with her before the reunion. The reunion episode, they would reveal, we have something to say to all of you. We've broken up. Things are not great, you know? And that would have been his reunion breakup with Ariana, like he had his reunion breakup with Kristen. But would he be disgusting enough in the reunion to have the breakup? Ariana's crying across from him. This is the first reunion. They're not sitting together. They reveal they break up. This is the big reunion thing. You know, his moment of breaking up with her, saying, we're just not happy, throwing out all the lines he's throwing out now that mean nothing because you cheated and you got caught. Thank goodness you got caught. But he probably would have played it out like that and tried to be like, we just weren't happy, we were having problems, blah, 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 you know? And like, maybe if he felt bold enough, he would have said, I actually have feelings for someone else. Me and Raquel have kind of started dating, and it would have been their coming out moment. Or after the reunion airs and everything, they would have just been caught together, starting to hang out. Next season, they would start off together, you know? I think that's his goal. It's not like, oh, I respect her. I didn't want her to go into the reunion defending us. No, I think it's more, this is your game plan. This is how you do it. You want to have a good image. You want to be able to break up with her before the reunion, you know, talk about it on the reunion. Next season, start off with a clean slate for yourself.
It makes sense because this is why he supported Schwartz and Raquel making out so much. He was paving the way for him to start hooking up with the friend, and he would have never admitted to cheating.
And he's like, when he tried to break up with her, he's like, 2 weeks ago. So it's like, that's hella recent. Being like, you pressured me to stay in this relationship. I tried 2 weeks ago. It's like, this is during the season. You're trying to get out right before the reunion so that you can get a clean break, bro. It's freaking obvious. Like, you didn't try months ago. You tried 2 weeks ago when you're in the thick of trying to be with Raquel and smooth this all over. That's when you tried to break up with her, you know? It's so annoying. Like, he literally keeps trying to erase him and Ariana's past, like acting like before in the last episode, like they didn't really have a connection. They don't act the same way. Like they're really different people when they weren't different people when they got together.
Where's your bar kit?
Oh, like I walk around with a bar kit?
Yeah.
You're the only one that does that.
No, a lot of other people do that.
I have a connection with Ariana unlike anything I have ever had before. I am so thankful for that.
And now he's like, I have a deep connection with Raquel. Like, oh my gosh, literally, you're just like slapping Ariana in the face while you cheat on her. But yeah, I think he tries to discredit his relationship because that's what he did with Kristen. Like, once he broke up with her, there was no connection. It's crazy that they were together, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's what you do. You go on the defense and you start going after the girl, trying to make her look bad so that you can come out better. And it worked with Kristen because she had a couple little flaws here and there, okay? I'm not gonna lie.
I don't need to be with her. It breaks my heart.
I do care about you.
I love her and I care about her.
Stop being so hateful.
I'm trying not to be Kristen. Kristen, no.
But it's not gonna work with Ariana. She's a great person. You say when you guys got into therapy, she started getting better and being like fixing her issues. And I've heard her talk on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and she says, I was in therapy, he was in therapy, I was doing inner child work, I was improving as a person. So she has only leveled up in this whole situation, bro. But literally, it's just interesting, because in this conversation, Ariana's like, we could have done therapy together. So I don't know if, like, they haven't started yet at this point, or if they're just doing like separate therapy with their own therapist, and like Sandoval's in there talking about how he wants to break up with her, and Ariana's in there talking about inner child work and like fixing herself, you know, because that's sick too if that's what was happening. I'd love to, and she's like, when are you gonna see her next? Just tell her all this stuff. He's like, tomorrow. Like, he's so mean. Like, this just shows his true colors, you know? Like, you're so petty. Like, you can't be respectful in this moment and just be like, I'm probably gonna see her. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ariana. No, you're like, tomorrow. Like, I hate him so much. And she's like, are you gonna hug and kiss, talk about your deep connection? And he's like, I don't know. Like, he's so mean. He's like, his devil ears were like literally popping out of his head when he said this. And she's like, why didn't you just say no? Like, literally, you're trying to save her from pain. It was so hard to break up with her because you don't want her to feel pain. You are rubbing that wound in right now, bro. You just gave her a cut and you're just putting salt all up in there right now. But you don't want her to feel pain? You're a liar. You just don't want yourself to feel pain or look bad. You wanted your cake and to eat it too. Hang out with Raquel and do whatever you're doing. Come home to Ariana and act like everything's great and let her be so nice to you the way she was being and so cool and such a great person. You wanted both. That's the truth. Yep, when she talks about finding the video, he's like, I'm sorry you had to see that. Another half apology. Never taking accountability. Any last words? I never thought this would happen. This did not happen. You did this. You should say, I never planned on doing this. I never thought I would be so horrible. No, I never thought this would happen. And when Ariana is getting emotional and she says, I was 100% committed to you as of literally 2 days ago, he starts getting red and crying, and he does the same cry he always does, which is where he puts his hands in his face and it just comes out. That's the way he cries. So when she was talking about her grandma back on the picnic day, when he was sitting across from her, it was a fake cry, okay? When he was turning all red, I'm just saying. So he starts crying immediately, and I believe he's crying here, not because he feels bad, not because he's understanding what she's saying from the person that cares about him. It's because she says, I was 100% committed to you. He's crying because he lost his most loyal follower. The person that was most obsessed with him, liked him the most, thought he was so awesome, amazing, all of those things that gas him up, because that's what he wants, you know? All of that Ariana provided, his #1 best cheerleader, is gone.
I regret ever loving you. Any last words before we never speak again?
I never thought this would happen.
I would have followed you anywhere. I would have changed any part. I was 100% committed to you. As of literally 2 days ago.
That's when he starts crying. I was 100% committed to you. I lost that. You know, like, that's what he's crying about. Like, he's so self-absorbed, literally. Like, he knows of everybody that has supported him and been on his side, Ariana is the most powerful, most beautiful, best one. That's what you lost, bro. It's crazy that that's how he has to see it to understand, like, that you're really losing here, but that's what makes him cry. It's sad too, because these scenes where they show their house and them inside of it, it's like, this is the last time ever. This is the last moment that we will see this house and these people in it. Nothing left of our memory. This time is over, you know, like, it's just crazy to see, like, the last footage of, like, them zooming out of their home, and it's devastating. It's not even happy, but it's just sad, like the end of an era, you know, literally. The next scene is Sandoval and Schwartz together. Sandoval goes over to the scene of the crime, Schwartz's apartment, and literally he's like, I'm sorry, bro, and like, Schwartz is like, I'm not gonna hate on you while you're down, man, but this is really bad. He's acting like this is some dumb little thing, like all the other little things they do, like, oh, a drunk little makeout, like, this is really bad, dude. It's so dumb. And I predicted they would have some fake conversation because, you know, Schwartz already knows about this, and they do. Sandoval's like, it just happened, man. Like, starts to get into, like, the story of, like, how it all went down, and he lies in this story, and Schwartz just sits there, but it's so pathetic.
Here he is. the most reviled man in America. This is very bad.
I'm sorry.
I love you, though. I'm not gonna beat you while you're down, man. I'm sorry. You just got caught up.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
Up, man. I mean, you had a game plan. You just didn't put it in motion.
So you know his game plan, clearly you've known a while, that's pretty complicit.
I don't want to lay too much on you right now. I just want you to know it's not good.
What's not good, Schwartz? Having an affair? Hurting Ariana? Let's see what he said.
Schwartz and Sandy's. You went from 4.8 stars on Yelp to 1 star. We have 20 employees who depend on us. I exhausted my soul for Schwartz and Sandy's. I put everything I had in there. And now, because of Tom's affair, this place could fall apart. It's soul-crushing.
Soul-crushing.
Can you maybe do a post and, explain to people that, dude, I'm not complicit in this?
You want him to post that, but wait, when he walked into your house, you didn't say anything about Ariana.
You came to me, you confided in me. I said, out of respect for what you had with Ariana, you have to tell her.
You could have actually said that when he walked in, instead of talking about how this is going to affect you. That would have made it more believable. Now watch as he pretends to hear about this for the first time.
I wanted to tell her. I got this vibe that she just did not want to know.
You know, my world just got turned upside down, man.
The world just got turned upside down, man.
Raquel and I, we have a very deep connection.
Deep connection.
After guys' night, nothing happened that night.
He is admitted to hooking up with her that night, so he's totally lying.
But that next day, it was see you next Tuesday or something.
I'm nervous, fingers in my mouth. Nervous, fingers in my mouth.
Raquel and I, we went to the Abbey. You just kissed, and then I felt something that I hadn't felt in a very long time. I started assessing my entire life. I'm in a relationship with nearly zero intimacy. We've had issues like this for 5 years.
Unless you've been cheating for 5 years, you have not had these issues.
Ariana and I, we just started to grow apart, and we just didn't want that out there in the world.
Immediately gets into the restaurant and saving his own butt, literally. He's like, our reviews are going down. In his confessional, he's like, people are so mad at me. Schwartz right away is doing the PR thing, you know? He's like, you had a game plan, you just didn't put it in motion, man. Saying the things that he thinks are gonna save them. I know you had a game plan, dude. I know you planned on breaking up with her. You know, it's shut up about the game plan, okay? You had a game plan to cheat and then try to get out of your relationship somehow unscathed. What game plan? This is not a game. Yeah, right away he goes into the sympathy thing, trying to save his own butt. He's like, we have 20 employees at Schwartz that depend on us, and our reviews are going down because of this. Poor us, right? Our right away pulling out the big cards. We're gonna feel bad for employees that have nothing to do with this, right? Oh my God, they're not getting a paycheck. They are, they're fine. They're getting paid fine. But no, he's like, our business, we have 20 employees that depend on us, going for the sympathy, the smallest violin, you know? And then in his confessional, he's like, I've exhausted all of my money into this restaurant, and now this is happening, it could ruin my life. It's so cringy and disgusting. And literally at no moment does he say anything about Ariana, anything about hurting Ariana. His first impressions, his first moments, he cares so much about looking good too. Well, you look like crap. The first things that you're mentioning are our business, and I've exhausted so much money into this. What about the affair? Hello? Stop trying to save yourself. I exhausted my soul into Schwartz and Sandy's. Ariana exhausted her soul into her frickin' relationship with your horrible friend. Hello? And besides, you have your booth.
This booth.
What does it matter, you know? As long as you have that booth, the restaurant's fine, bro. Chill. You know what else is soul crushing? An affair. Oh my gosh, literally. Reverse causality. It's reverse causality. The affair is soul crushing, so your restaurant's getting ruined. Not your restaurant's getting ruined and it's soul crushing because of the affair. He literally says, can you make a post? Not about Ariana. Can you make a post saying that I'm not complacent in this? Let's look up the definition of being complacent, because that's exactly what you are. You just sat back, you let him keep talking to her, you knew about it, he's hooking up with her through FaceTime at your house, comfortable enough, you know? It's you are complacent, you know? But he's like, can you just make a post, you know, to fix my reputation? That's all he cares about. Say that, I told you, you gotta tell her, man, okay? Come on, shut up. It's like, you have no backbone, okay? You should say, can you make a post saying I have no backbone, that's why I didn't say anything. That's more believable than make a post saying I told you to tell Ariana. He says, after guys' night at the Mondrian, nothing happened that night. Wrong, you hooked up that night. So go ahead, continue your lie. And then he says after that, the next day at the Abbey, so like when Allie was there and she saw them and all that, he's like, we kissed. And I felt something, man. I haven't felt in a long time. Like, stop trying to sell this story. It was more than a kiss. Stop excluding information. Like, it's so pathetic, you know? And Sandoval is trying so hard to just take the relationship down. Take the relationship down with him and Ariana. Not talk about what he did to ruin the relationship. No, he's like, it just was bad. For 5 years it was bad. Okay, well, everybody goes back to, why'd you buy a house with her?
Getting a house together is the way that we are like showing our commitment to each other.
You're just BS. Like, complaining that you guys cared about your image and you wanted to look good in front of everybody. Like, I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of this being a talking point. Anybody who's smart, who's in a relationship that's gonna go on reality television, it's smart to tell your partner, hey, let's not fight. Let's look good. Let's make everybody think we're good and we can fight at home, all right? Let's not ruin our relationship. Like, people probably make pacts with each other and that's how they stay in a relationship so long on reality television. Let's not throw each other under the bus. Let's not be so raw. Or if we are, let's go home and not take it back home. You know what I mean? Like, people make arrangements all the time. And he loves his image. He cares so much about his image. You think he would have wanted every little fight, every little thing he does out there? No. You should respect Ariana because she kept everything private and she didn't put you on blast and talk about the problems in your relationship. That's what you wanted at the time too. That's what you would want now. You're saving face now. Like, you care so much about image. To be like, we had a lot of problems and she didn't want us to show it. We've been really bad for a long time. That's what you wanted too. Like, how is this a talking point at all to breaking up with her? This is the relationship you freaking wanted, dude. And he talks about, like, I started assessing my relationship. Okay, so the assessment happened. The analysis of possibly breaking up with her happened once you kissed Raquel. That's what you're saying to Schwartz. So he's like, I started like thinking about my relationship and no intimacy, and he uses this as a point, you know, to say that things were bad. He's like, you know, if I wanted to get off, I had to like go to the bathroom and like watch something. It's like, really? That's a problem? Because I've heard him mention this before in interviews, and he has said, what's the problem, Jax? Why do you cheat? Literally, all you have to do is go to the bathroom and get one off. You don't have to cheat.
There was no temptation. There was no.
God, no.
Hell no.
5-6 years
Dude,
ago?
you kidding me?
Oh
we've
my God.
never worth
again.
it.
Like, the only time I like can get off is like
All the websites they have. Plus with technology now, I mean, you can go and just crack one off and be done with it. You know?
when I watch porn in the bathroom. This can't be real.
I've learned my lesson multiple times. I am still traumatized from that. It was never like something that was planned. I would never go out and be like, I'm gonna get wasted and make out with some random chick. It's a combination of putting yourself in bad situations, getting way too drunk. And then also not being happy during stretches in my relationship. Being really, really deeply unhappy and resentful. I guess that was my way of acting out, I think, you know? But I would always feel terrible if I happened to remember. Jesus.
If I happen to remember. Jesus.
The worst feeling ever. It's gotta be one of the worst feelings I've ever experienced in my life. It was not premeditated.
No, it's
There's no
coming.
contact afterwards.
These are two things that Sandoval did, yet you still defend him 5 years later.
Relatively speaking, it's fairly innocent. Still douchey. And messed up, unacceptable.
What a fucking pain in the ass
Oh my
it is,
good
dude.
God, it is a
Why?
nightmare.
We don't get away with shit, dude.
So now it's a problem that you have to do that sometimes. Like, maybe you're like, have a really like, you know, high libido. Maybe you really, really want to be intimate all the time. And it's too much, bro. Like, really, you're gonna talk smack that you have to go to the bathroom and whatever? Like, sorry. Oh, you have to go to the bathroom and do that? Go hook up with Raquel then. Go hook up with her friend. Like, these are dumb talking points. Stop trying to get sympathy for being so horny. Like, oh my gosh. He says he went into therapy, and literally Schwartz is just listening to it all from a PR standpoint. He's like, this is relatable. This is all relatable. Like thinking like, we could probably use this, but you should have just told Ariana, man. Like, yeah, that ruins it every time, huh? It doesn't make sense when it's like, why didn't you just tell her?
I went into therapy. I don't know what to do. I love this person. I've been with them for a long time. We're just not there.
This is all relatable. But you had so many opportunities. Truly had a moment last week. I was like, dude, it's time to tell her, because if this comes out,
I know.
I'm gonna humiliate her.
Like, me and Raquel had to be on the same page. After that night, nothing happened till like Life is Beautiful. Ariana never asked. Maybe like, I'm going to Schwartz's. All she would have had to do is follow me, and see that, you know, I'm not.
He is so unreasonable. All she had to do, man, was like, follow me around, you know? I mean, honestly, like, I had Raquel under the bed when we would hook up, okay? All she had to do was look under the bed, and she didn't even care to do that, okay? So unreasonable. Even Schwartz has to say something.
Wait, no, don't put that responsibility on her. People are upset with me. Just for being your business partner and friend, I'm canceled. This is just the worst absolute case scenario.
Schwartz is like, I don't want to make you feel bad, dude. And he literally says, like, he's like, even last week, I tried to tell you, you should break up with her. And up to last week, Sandoval says, I know, but me and Raquel had to be on the same page. Meaning, Raquel last week wasn't ready to come out and tell her, you know? Which, by the way, you're respecting Raquel's feelings way more than Ariana. Like, what? She wasn't ready for you to tell your girlfriend the truth, so you didn't tell her? Like, what? It's so ridiculous. But anyways, going back to what I'm saying, he's like, we had to both be on the same page. So up to last week, Raquel wasn't ready to tell Ariana, and you weren't going to do it unless Raquel was ready too. So telling Ariana 2 weeks ago I tried to break up with you and you didn't want to, it's like you weren't going to tell her what you were doing. You act like she wanted you so bad. I stand by, you weren't ready to break up with her. That was a fake breakup because you weren't telling her the truth of what you were doing. Like, you know, first it's like, this is relatable. These are good talking points. But then he starts getting into, I would tell her I'm going to Schwartz's. All she had to do was follow me.
Let's have Dodie conduct an independent investigation.
I just want to point out that back in the day, Tom Sandoval labeled Kristen Doty as crazy for following him around and trying to find out what he's doing. And now with Ariana, he blames her for not doing this.
3 days after my birthday, Tom screwed a bottle service skank in Vegas.
Happy 30th birthday to me.
We share a phone bill. I looked through Tom's outgoing calls, found some Vegas numbers, making some phone calls, started hunting, land on said whore, caught him red-handed.
Yes, let's put Dodie on it. Dodie's MacGyver.
So now if Ariana doesn't follow you around, it means that she doesn't care?
Have you ever hooked up with my boyfriend? No. Nothing you want to tell me.
No.
I'm starting to think that having an ex-girlfriend obsessed with him is something Sandoval used to his advantage. He wants everyone to want him so bad.
No, babe.
For real.
No, there's nothing I want to tell you.
I'm sorry that you've had to be subjected to all this. My ex. It hasn't been easy. I feel like we're lucky. Like, I really do.
Me too. They've weathered so many storms, and they're stronger because of it.
Ariana, in what way was Kristen a better girlfriend to Tom than you? That's a good question.
I think she was a lot more eager to please. Making breakfast and things like that, like, I don't need to with that.
And even Schwartz is like, well, that's unreasonable that you would think she'd do that. Like, even he has to say something. So I really think that, like, Schwartz is a smarter one of the two. You know, like, he has a little bit of brain cells, and Sandoval's, like, dopey, you know? So, like, Sandoval thinks these are reasonable things to say, and even Schwartz is like, you're drowning, like, kind of stops it, you know? That's why I said sometimes Schwartz does, like, flat out say something good, you know, like, you're emotionally entitled. This is when he does it here. Like, he does have a brain going, you know? He's just, like, chooses to be a jerk. Where the other one's just a dumb jerk, you know? That's why saying, like, the thing about, like, oh, it was bigger than Rochella, he knew he was being rude when he said that. That's why I wondered, is he just dumb or is he being rude? No, he knows he's being rude. He's a lot smarter than I thought. So it's like he's a purposeful jerk. The other one is just a dumb jerk that just is a whole mess, disgusting. Stay away. You're easy to read because you're so dumb, but you're doing evil actions, you know? Like, he's the worst. But literally, like, Schwartz, he's like, you can't put that kind of responsibility on her. Like, straight up, he gets it. He's not as dumb, you know? And then he goes back to, but people are upset at me, dude. Me. And he's like, well, stay off social media. It's like, shut up about yourself, Schwartz. No mention in this whole conversation does Schwartz say, and Ariana, man, I feel so bad, or like, she's my friend, nothing like that. So Ariana's great to cut him off as a friend because he has no consideration of Ariana. It's all about him and looking good.
Stay off social media.
Lisa.
Really?
Hi. Oh my god.
The next scene is Ariana with her friends, Logan is there, and Scheana arrives. Katie arrives afterwards. So Scheana and Ariana embrace, and they're just so sad, and I understand the connection here. Like, people are like, Scheana, you're overdoing it. You're not the one that got cheated on. But in a way, she got affected really bad by Raquel because she was the closest to Raquel. So, like, the pain of that, like, the awkwardness of, like, realizing she's a crazy person, you know, low-key, it's like, that's shocking for Scheana too. So she's like crying, they embrace, and then Katie walks in, and it's like super quiet, and like, I don't know, this moment, the first time I saw it, I started crying. And I thought I was over Scandoval. Like, I felt all the emotions I could feel for this. Like, it's been going on for so long, you know? I didn't expect tears. I thought, if I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry during Ariana's scene with Sandoval. And I did feel like I was going to, but I was able to stop it, you know? But with this scene, as soon as Katie walks in, and Ariana's like, hi, and Katie's like, hey.
Hi. Oh my god. Like, who are they? Evil people. It's not even like, oops, we kissed one time when we were on acid at Coachella.
This is where Scheana says it was a full-blown love affair, and everyone pays attention to the end of the sentence, but the beginning of the sentence is what's important. I think she's admitting to knowing that Sandoval and Raquel kissed at Coachella. This is a very specific example she gives.
Oops, we kissed one time when we were on acid at Coachella. A full-blown love affair. Hi. Hi. I want to hug you. I want to hug you.
I just started crying because the feelings were so strong. Like, Scheana and Katie have not been in the same room. They're in the same room for one reason, you know, for the worst thing ever. One, so I could feel the tension of the room in that aspect. Like, you guys are in the same room and like, it doesn't even matter. There's nothing wrong with you guys right now because this is so bad. I could feel how bad it was, you know? And two, I felt embarrassed for Ariana. And not because like, oh my god, you should be so embarrassed, you got cheated on. No, because I know Ariana hates people talking about her relationship, hates like looking weak, like, you know what I mean? She doesn't like that kind of attention. So like, when they were first talking about her relationship, she's like, I don't want people to be like, pss, 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 talking about us. That really affects her. Like, she's like, don't have me looking like an idiot, you know? Like, don't make me look dumb or whatever. Naive, whatever the case is. Like, Ariana does not like to look like that. So I could feel like the pain Ariana's feeling, like Katie walking in. We know the one reason you'd be here with Scheana. It's really bad. Ariana's like in a horrible, embarrassing spot to her, you know? Like, she's in a horrible spot to any of us. We're all like seeing her like, oh my god, you poor thing. And she hates that kind of attention. So like, I kind of cried for Ariana too. Like, you're having to face Katie, who has thought all these things about Raquel all season long, and you've defended Raquel, and here you are being like sliced in the worst way by Raquel, facing Katie, and it just feels like so bad, you know? Like, it feels awful for Ariana. So I cried. And then they get into what Katie knows, what Ariana knows. You know, they're like talking about it. And I love right here that Katie's like, I suspect that Schwartz knew for a while. He made a comment. And then Ariana's friend Logan is like, what comment? I love that because Ariana did not ask, but he just flat out asks the comment and we get to hear it, you know? Like, love that.
Well, I feel like Tom Schwartz obviously knew about this too.
That's what I said.
I mean, he made a comment to me at BravoCon.
What did he say?
It's the sweatshirt situation. Raquel wore a Tom hoodie at BravoCon, like basically nothing on underneath.
Any regrets about saying to Katie you wanted to make out with Schwartz?
I had previously screen recorded this because the whole sweater situation seemed weird to me, and she was being really shady to Katie. This was before I realized that the Scandoval broke out this very same day.
But not have sex with him, so it wasn't a big deal.
So sleeping together makes it a big deal, huh, Raquel? I'll remember that.
Yeah. Probably regret saying that. I was just being honest.
Any regrets telling Katie you asked Schwartz if you could make out with him?
Did I ask her that?
He said telling Katie you asked Schwartz to make out. Keep up, will ya?
I didn't ask permission.
Right. Why did you decide to post a photo of you and Schwartz together in front of Schwartz and Sandy's?
It was golden hour, and like, all pure vanity.
Pure vanity.
Like,
okay. Katie called you desperado. What's your reaction to Katie upset by Sheena with Schwartz on her podcast and calling Sheena a troll?
Well, like I said, I think Katie was projecting.
Katie was projecting.
Do you think you're guilty of trolling Katie, posting things she'll feel hurt by, like you wearing Tom Tom swag?
No, I'm just trying to live my life. I'm sorry if that offends people, but it's not going to stop me.
It's not going to stop me
from doing what I want to do.
Tom Tom swag?
Yeah. I brought something for you, actually.
Oh.
So you could be a fangirl too.
Ooh.
See, I was immediately confused by this because why does she have Tom Tom sweaters to give away?
You brought me Tom Tom swag?
Yeah.
Do you have ownership of Tom Tom swag?
No,
wow,
but
actually, I love
right?
this. This is amazing. It's like a triple XL.
Well,
She's about to say whose sweater it belongs to, but then she stops herself.
Well, we like things oversized.
It's like a boyfriend sweatshirt.
Exactly.
Okay.
Boyfriend sweatshirt. Exactly.
Now you can be day 3.
Wow, I love it. Thank you.
Raquel.
Okay, calm down. Raquel's not that important. The only reason Andy kept this is because it's Tom Tom.
The exact sweatshirt that I wore to day 3 of BravoCon that caused a lot of controversy.
Excellent. All right, thank you very much.
At the time, I thought it was about her and Schwartz. And I was like, dude, she's like a fangirl.
So you could be a fangirl too.
She's following both of you around like puppy dog. It turns out she is a fangirl, just of the other Tom. He goes, she's not there for me, trust me. And Schwartz knew about it the whole time.
And Katie's like, well, he made a comment about the Tom Tom sweater that Raquel was wearing during BravoCon. This was in October. She had might have been early November. I think it's October though. She had the BravoCon, the Tom Tom sweater. There's only a couple sweaters made and the owners have them, the 2 Toms. So Katie obviously thought it was linked to Schwartz. And I actually watched that Watch What Happens Live and I like screen recorded it like a couple weeks ago because it seemed weird to me at the time. I was like, okay, how do you have this sweater? Because I heard that the 2 Toms are the only ones that had it. So I was like, I just thought it was weird. But now it all adds up because she was like, she pressed Schwartz like, hey, what the hell? Why is she wearing your sweater? She's following you guys around like a puppy dog. And he says, she's not there for me, trust me. So this means in October, Schwartz knows, okay? Like that's as far as we know on the show. Since October, he's known. Sheena gets into the fact that she pushed Raquel, she did not punch her, so, and then she does a little a little moment of like, see, my nails don't make a fist. I think that's what they said in the courtroom, and that was like her legal defense. Like, I cannot make a fist, therefore you must acquit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, she's like been saying this word for word every time, like, I cannot physically make a fist. So I think that actually worked in the courtroom, so good for you, Sheena. And there's that flute that Sandoval loves. I think there's a reason he loves the flute, but anyways, I digress. There's a flute there, and Sheena's like, oh my gosh, I want to break it, and Logan's like, you should, and then Sheena's like, I can't. I think the reason why she can't is because, I'm not sure if the lawsuit's been filed, but I'm like, I think she says she can't break it because she's saying that she didn't punch her. She's saying that she pushed her, so if she shows her aggression and like crushes this thing without breaking a nail, well, that kind of defeats your whole I can't make a fist thing, you know? But, I don't know. Timing, it's interesting. So it's confirmed in this scene because Ariana says that the recording she found on Sandoval's phone was from the night before.
I found a screen recording of them on FaceTime. It was literally from the night before.
So I wondered, he's like, I normally would delete something like that, but I was busy that day. Kind of made it sound like it was from recently, you know, like that day. And it was the night before. He screen recorded it to save it for the rest of the week or whatever it is. He had to screen record it and watch it again. Disgusting. And that's what Ariana saw. She says that she pressed him about like what else happened between them or whatever. And he told her that at the Mondrian, or like the night after boys night or whatever, that they hooked up in her car.
I called Raquel and I started making her tell me when did this start. So she said they kissed.
Notice how Raquel lies just like Sandoval and says they kissed, almost like they rehearsed it.
Well, later that night, I pressed Tom. He said, well, they actually in her car that night. Shut the up. He didn't have a key to get in, so he had to ring the doorbell and I had to let him in. No. Yes. And he was angry at me. Angry at me.
So I find that interesting because on Howie, he says they hooked up in the backyard, on the furniture out there, you know, by the fire pit. It was really smoking. So it's interesting, you lied again to Ariana. Either you lied and you said it was in her car, because he's really tall, she's super tall. I don't know what kind of car she has, but this is really reminding me of the James and Kristen on the Beamer situation. You know, it's like Crazy Kristen, those attributes she had, I see a lot of it in Raquel. I'm just saying, if it happened in the car, you guys were smushed inside that car, it was awful, okay? I can just imagine. So maybe you lied and you said backyard to make it seem better, or maybe you're lying to Ariana and saying the car because you don't want her to know that you were in your beautiful backyard. Which one is it? I guess we'll never know. He's just a liar. And what we didn't know about that hookup is that he lost his key or whatever. That's why they were locked out of the house. But Ariana had to let him in. Disgusting. He went and slept with Ariana and acted like nothing. So sick. Going back to Kristen being a little bit like Raquel, back in the day, it kind of makes me think, there's a moment where Lala and Sheena are talking and they're like, Raquel loves to drink and she falls everywhere. She's falling this way, falling that way, she's hitting her face. They're like, maybe she fell that night because she was so drunk, and that attributed to her injury, you know? But when they were saying this, it reminded me of Kristen.
It's a known thing. LA is a big place, but it's small. The amount of times that I would get phone calls, Raquel was falling over when she was drunk. She's constantly, every time I talk to someone, she was falling over something, fell on a table.
What happened to you? No, Kristen, you were fine. You were fine 15 seconds ago. Kristen!
It's fine. Bye.
Okay.
Oh
my
God.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
here we go.
Yeah.
Fell into a wall. It was she's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Because Kristen would flop and fall everywhere too. She was like those things at the car dealership, you know? So it's just so funny, the sloppy drinking situation that Kristen was going through, you know, where she would just get way too wasted.
She wasn't bothered with me. I'm telling you. She wants the attention, so all eyes are on her. So we're talking about her right now. So we were talking about her all at Solving. She wants the attention. She's an attention seeker. End of story. She looks for it and feeds off of it in unhealthy ways.
Unhealthy ways. That was probably the problem.
Thousands
There was
of miles
a
away.
lot of want.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
We'll take another bottle.
The story of her life, it always comes down to the Sauvignon Blanc, doesn't it?
About your date.
I cried. Of course.
How many glasses in were you?
No, I mean, I don't know. I lose count. I'm a mess.
How many?
That's Raquel all day long, times 10 because she's malicious too. Kristen, it was just funny, bro. I personally like James, and I've been saying he's been right about all this stuff. I've just been noticing, you know, his reads are so on point, and literally he's right now. He's the definition of a backstabber about Sandoval, and he's like, I'm more hurt by Sandoval than Raquel, because he was already getting over the fact that Raquel would hook up with everybody, doesn't care who it is. She hooked up with Schwartz. He already knows who Raquel is. Once she hooked up with Schwartz, he was over her. I really felt like he was just there's no point. You're the wrong girl for me. He figured that out, you know? But Sandoval, he did consider him a friend. He helped him get the 151 out of his eye, you know? He, back in the day, they were friends. They were going to start a band together. Back in the day, when Sandoval and Kristen were together, and James hooked up with Kristen in their apartment, you know? Because what happened is, back in the day, Kristen and Sandoval were a couple, and they broke up. Now, when they broke up, Sandoval was looking for a roommate. He found James Kennedy. They became friends. James was going to join in his band. They were going to write music together. They were really tight friends. And then, as he was going to the apartment, hanging out there late nights, Kristen hooked up with James because she had not moved out yet. So Sandoval's he used my condoms in my bed. He loves to bring it up, you know. But needless to say, I just want to say that during that time, it was very convenient for Sandoval to say, we were friends. He was my best friend, and he hooked up with my girl.
And you choose to be friends with James.
There's people that I'm so close with
There's a lot of history behind me and James. Like, we were good friends.
Good friends.
I'm mad about Tom Sandoval.
I held that motherfucker in my arms when him and his girlfriend broke up.
Tom Sandoval is the definition of a backstabber.
We're supposed to be making music together.
I always kind of looked up to him in a sense.
You know, he told me I'm like his best friend.
Best friend.
Like, what the dude?
And during that time, he started pursuing Kristen.
It really is just waste of friendship, right? He threw that away.
He completely stabbed me in the back.
It's just like, you're such a piece of bro.
He's a douche.
He's a douche.
But now, I noticed in the reunion part 1, he's discrediting their friendship. Like, what? Friends? But they were friends. You can see this moment, James is feeling pain because he's like, I thought Sandoval was my friend. Like, literally, you know? He really thought there was a friendship there. When they went and talked during that sesh, when he's like, nothing happened, and they're acting really friendly, James thinks that's a real exchange. They're really friends. Now, Sandoval over here is just filming a scene trying to look cool. There's no thought at all of like, this is a real friendship, you know? Like, he's a fake person, literally. That's all that shows. You know, like, they did have a friendship. Saying best friends, I don't know, but they were tight, okay? They were good friends. Like, do not discredit that. And like, James in his confessional cries, like, I thought we were good friends, it's a waste of friendship. And when he talks to Raquel, he's like yelling and getting crazy. And this is how he acts, you know? When something really hurts him and affects him, and he wants to cry about it, like when he cried about the Rochella comment, he yells and he lashes out and he gets crazy. We've seen this behavior. So I can see him kind of saying rude, not so nice things to Raquel on the phone because he truly is hurt. And during the reunion, he is screaming when he says the worm with the mustache. He's flipping out on Sandoval in part 1, and it's because he's hurt, you know? It's because deep down he wants to cry. It's because if he's not yelling, he'll be crying, you know? Like, that just shows how hurt he is by this, how invested he is, and how much he thinks that there was a bond, you know, for him to be so hurt. The feelings to me are genuine. Versus Sandoval, half the time he cries, you don't know if it's fake or not. Like, during the reunion, it goes back to what I've been saying. He cries, and everyone's like, stop crying. And guess what? In 2 seconds, the tears are gone. There's not even a tremble in his voice. He's like, this tactic's not working, switch to plan B. And he does the, all right, let me be serious tactic, you know? Like, literally. So fake. If you were really crying in the freaking reunion, you don't have to concentrate so hard and think about it. And his scene with Lisa Vanderpump, I think that's a fake cry too. Like, that's part of his acting, you know, his portfolio. That's what he writes. Like, can cry on demand. Just give me like a minute and let my face get all red and I'll really concentrate about, like, I don't know, losing my hair or something, not being able to flip it around, and then I'll really cry for you. So fake. Anyways, so they're at the apartment. The next scene is James and Allie together, and Katie walks in with Lala. They arrive, and James is like, what do you want to drink? I have Pellegrino. And then Lala's like, I would love a Pellegrino.
Want a Pellegrino?
Yeah, we have a Pellegrino.
And it's just like funny. Like, it just shows their funny friendship, you know? But anyways, I find it interesting too that Katie's showing up to James's house. Like, has this ever happened?
Oh, I have a rosé too. Alright. Alright.
That Katie goes over to James's place. Like, she didn't go to the puppy party. Like, I don't think they've ever been close enough friends where she's at his house. So they barely really know each other. Like, he's like, what do you want to drink? Like, you know, like, it's kind of awkward, but it's cute. Like, oh my gosh, Katie's there around Sheena. Katie has to be around James, and she actually likes him now. Like, there's a lot of evolution in Katie's circle. Like, she thought when her and Schwartz broke up, everybody will probably pick Schwartz over me, you know, because he puts his best foot forward even though it's fake. You know, and she is genuine with her feelings, like her bitchiness comes out, you know? So like, she thought everybody would pick Schwartz, but it's like, I think everybody's picking you. Like, James got irritated with Schwartz and is kind of sick of him over it, you know? And James likes you more. And with Sheena, it's like, Sheena and Schwartz are not going to hang out anymore. She hates Sandoval. Like, you actually won, Katie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know, it's evolution. Like, I would have never thought Katie and James would be friends. And they are. I said, like, I'm going to find it so hilarious if they start hanging out and talking, and they do. So it's like, wow, Katie, basically anybody that you deem as your enemy, that you hate, be prepared to be, like, best friends with them in a couple years. You know, like, you have a bad, what is it? You have a bad, like, clock for, like, friends, you know? Like, you have a bad, like, radar. People you think are not good friends are going to be your best friends. Like, anyone that you automatically are not vibing with, become friends with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's just funny. So while they're there, James is like, I'm gonna call Raquel and talk to her about all of this. And Katie and Lala are down, but the girlfriend's like, no, don't, you know? And it's just funny because James is the only person that's capable of doing this. Like, Katie and her hate each other, Lala and her hate each other. Like, who else can call Raquel and have a conversation? Like, if Sheena had a conversation, you know, like, she wouldn't answer. She's saying that she got punched by her. Ariana can't talk to her. It would be a really intense scene that I don't think Raquel would answer. James is the safest place, and he uses his power to his advantage. He's like, I'm the only one that's capable of calling her. I'm gonna call her. It's like great. And when he calls her, he's like, hey, Raquel. And she's like, hey, what's up?
Hello? Scandoval just broke. That's a pretty casual way to answer.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, what's up?
I don't know, to me it just sounds like she would hook up with him again. Like, literally, when you're going through a crisis like this and your ex calls who you don't get along with, you've been fighting all season, I would probably answer, like, with all the stress and everybody hating on me and the amount of press she's getting, I'd probably answer and be like, what, James? I don't have time to talk. What is it? Or like, yes, James? Hello? What? Are you gonna tell me something about what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, very genuine. But no, she's like, hey, what's up? And I think he could have been like, you're so cute. Do you want to come over? Allie's not here. I think she'd be like, all right, I'll go right now. You know? Not just because she's in a vulnerable place. I'm just saying, the way she answered, like, hey, what's up? I feel like he could have been like, nothing. What's up with you? And she'd be like,
Nothing. What are you doing?
and he'd be like,
Nothing, just chilling. Wanna go get some food?
and she'd be like,
Yeah.
and then he'd be like,
But I wanna hook up after.
and she'd be like, okay. Like, she just seems down, like, I don't know, just too friendly, you know? Like, hey, what's up? And he's like, what's up? What's up with what you've been doing? What's up with this? Like, he took the correct route, you know? Like, but I really think that she would have been down. I'm just saying. And she's like, well, obviously I feel bad.
How do you feel about what you've done?
No, I feel really
Like, are you and Sandoval an item?
No.
You lied to everyone's face.
Yeah, well, it definitely is eye-opening.
Eye-opening?
You've done diddly yourself over. You've literally just, like, trashed it for Sandoval's little
Poppycock. Oh my god, James. The last person we need to explain anything to is you.
Let's not dilly-dally around the bush.
He did this to Kristen. He did it to Ariana.
Because right now, this one would say, fall into the ocean.
He got bored with Ariana. He wants to go be with the sloppy drunk, and she's fun.
Happy birthday!
My birthday!
Normally, I don't get to see Ariana this strong. I don't know. I think it's great. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I love it. That's what we came here for, man.
Like, Ariana doesn't get drunk all the time, like us.
What?
She's responsible, but when she does get drunk, she's eating a piece of steak with her hands, chugging tequila. You should be like that more often, Ariana.
He's burning her ass cheek.
Whoa. That ass is hot.
And he got off on the fact that he could sneak around.
It's like, oh my god. And Lala brings up a rumor here that Sandoval and Billy Lee have hooked up. Is this true? I don't know, but I kind of think it's not true because Billy Lee and Jeremy, Ariana's brother, kind of had a thing for a while, you know? And so I just don't think that Billy would, like, be with somebody that close for comfort, you know? Like, you have a relationship with Jeremy, you like each other, you're hooking up with Sandoval too? Like, I don't know, like, that would just be a lot to me. So I just don't think that Billy Lee's really someone he hooked up with, but who knows, you know? Maybe. I remember Lala and Billy really hated each other.
Out of my face!
So, I don't know, it's hard for me to believe because of Jeremy. I just don't think that Billy would hurt Jeremy like that. She seemed like a pretty nice person, you know? She seemed like a pretty nice person when it came to her friends and being loyal to the people she cared about. So I just don't think she would do that to Jeremy, you know? But yeah, Lala seems to think he's hooked up with more people, and I believe that to be true. They say Miami Girl's obviously true, which Sandoval ends up admitting to and saying that Ariana knew about in his conversation with Sheena. That's not really news, like, obviously. Sheena did not even believe him at the time that he didn't hook up with her. It was so obvious, you know, but whatever, he finally admits to that. I find it funny that Sandoval can only admit to things that are so obvious and people already know. Like, he doesn't admit to sleeping with her. It's like, We all know that. Just say it, you know? Like, and he admitted to Ariana secretly with no cameras that they hooked up in the car, but doesn't say it on camera. Like, stop trying to look good, bro. James asks, like, are you and Sandoval an item? Raquel says no, which is a lie. He's like, you done diddly messed up. Like, he's using the funniest little words, you know? And Raquel's like, oh my God, the last person I need to explain myself to is you, James. Then why did you answer so casually? You thought he was just gonna chat with you? Like, what do you think he's calling about? Like, she's so weird. I just find it so funny, like, all these words he's using, like,
You've done diddly yourself over. Let's not dilly-dally around the bush. Done dilly-dally.
I don't know why he talks so funny in this moment. Like, he's being funny to entertain Allie or to entertain everybody, and he's literally, like, saying the funniest words, like, you done dilly-dally, like, say that 4 times, you know? Like, it's just so funny. There's not even, like, coming up next moments. Like, they just used every minute they could of this episode. The next scene is Raquel at her little apartment, and Sandoval goes to visit her, and it's just crazy, because the first moment you see her apartment, there's so many lights. Like, it's just so bright. It's crazy. It looks like Disneyland or something. And like, I love lights. I think it's so cool, you know? I have lights everywhere. I love lights. But even I can admit, too much light, it looks a little kooky. Like, whoa. You know, that's the first thing I thought when I saw her place. Kooky. There's a couple things to notice about Sandoval's body language here. As soon as he walks into her house, Graham is all over him.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Hey, Graham.
Are you okay?
No.
I think so. It's been rough.
Raquel's dog is just leaping, so excited to see him. And that's how little Labradoodles or Golden Doodles act when they see someone that they know, okay? He is so excited. It's a familiar person. It's someone he sees all the time. Graham is best friends with Sandoval. He's almost like as close as Schwartz is with him. Like, he's all over him. Like, it's so obvious that Sandoval goes here all the time. One reason you can tell. And 2, he walks in, he goes to the fridge, he gets a drink, he hands her a drink. You are so comfortable in this freaking apartment, okay?
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
You are here all the time. You know exactly what's in her fridge. You know exactly where everything is. He is so comfortable. He doesn't even ask her if she wants a drink. He's like, here, and hands her over a drink. Where Ariana is like, do you want anything? Like, you should know her well enough to know she hates you and she doesn't want anything, okay? Or if she wanted something, you should know her well enough to know what she wants after 10 years and just, like, put a water there, you know? But no, like, even with the coffee, when he gave Ariana coffee, she was like, I don't want it, like, too strong. I don't want to be up all night. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, he doesn't even know how she takes her coffee, you know? But with Raquel, he's like, here you go. Like, she's so easy to understand. All she wants is shots. He's like, here you go. And it's so gross to me that it's, like, during the day. Who knows what time it is, but it looks like it's in the day. And she's taking shots with him. And she chases it with the Coors. Now, I think Coors is a sponsor of the show, so that's why they drink it. But you're not forced to chase your shot with the Coors. You're forced to, like, have Coors around, you know, support it, love Coors, but you could have drank juice or something with the shot. Like, that just shows that this girl loves to drink. Drinks so much. Like, I don't know if she's been drinking before he even got there, because her voice sounds kind of weird, you know? But, like, literally, she's, like, down to drink, down to take the shot, doesn't even need to ask her if she wants a shot. Like, of course she wants a shot, you know? And she chases it with the beer. That's professional drinking right there, to chase shots with beers, okay? That's not casual. And then Sandoval's like, cheers to being in hell, where we belong. It's like, yep, you do belong there. I've been saying that this whole time.
Being in hell.
Being in hell. Where we belong. I don't actually think we belong in hell.
We're just 2 people that were friends, started having feelings for each other.
And Raquel's like, oh, I don't think we belong there. It's like, yes, you do. She's like, we're just 2 people that did something. It's like, don't start with that, okay? You're so dumb. You're not gonna say anything to get out of this one. And it's like, you know how evil villains, you wonder, like in Scooby-Doo, they like tell the whole story of like how this started and why they did this?
This is the end of the mystery. if it isn't our old friend Bluestone the Great, an ex-magician. But how did you walk through a solid wall? One of my best acts. Hold this rope. It was merely an illusion. Special projector. I could cast my image anywhere I wanted.
And like sometimes even in movies they'll play at that now and the hero will be like, okay, don't need to hear this story, don't need to hear it. Like he did it in Guardians of the Galaxy, like I don't need the backstory, you know? But like literally Sandoval gets into it with Raquel, like it just started with Schwartz. I wanted to hook you up with him. It's like, why do you guys do this? You guys literally are like the epitome of evil villains in a movie, you know?
And I would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for you meddling kids!
Like, now you're going back into your dark, evil, twisted plan, but you guys are the type that are trying to make it sound better than it is, you know? It's like, you guys are textbook villains trying to look good. Like, it's pathetic.
It just came out of like left field.
And now for my very elaborate and college-educated plan.
Like, I'm trying to hook you up with Schwartz. Dude, you're sleeping on Ariana, you're an idiot. She's amazing.
You just call me Ariana.
He's like, I was trying to hook you up with Schwartz, and I was like, you're sleeping on Ariana. She's awesome. And she's like, you just call me Ariana. And he's like, oh, my bad. Like, if this is your first representation of your relationship, this is the reason why you left perfect Ariana. Like, she's so great, you know? Like, I don't mean perfect. She has issues too, but I'm just saying. Textbook perfect Ariana to be with this is awkward as heck. You guys are horrible together. Like, it's not even because the camera's there so you don't want to like touch each other or whatever the case is. Even your conversation, like the level of conversation is awkward. Like, you said Ariana, maybe that was shyness, but after you say it and she calls you out, it's awkward still. Like, you guys don't laugh like you're good friends or anything. It's awkward in this room. It's awkward city, you know? Like, she's like, you just call me Ariana. And he's like, oh, it's just super horrible. And I did hear that they kissed in this scene, which they don't, but they get pretty close. So I see why people thought they kissed. I thought maybe this scene was like redone, but no, I doubt it was by how embarrassing and awkward this is. I know Sandoval wanted to redo it and the crew said, no, we're not refilming the scene. I believe that to be true. So the rumor of the kiss was not true, but I think this is the one take that they got, super awkward, and I think Sandoval did want to reshoot this because of how weird it turned out, and they said, nope, let's portray exactly how awkward and dumb the two of you are, and how there's like no brain cells functioning in the room when you two are together, you know? And then Sandoval's like, can we like kill some of these lights? And she's like, yeah, and she like shuts off the big light, like, yeah, it's so freaking bright. And then Sandoval's like, that's better. And it's like so dumb. Like, she makes it look like an EDM freaking festival, you know? She's like, yeah. And then he's like, that's better. Like, yeah, like I need strobe lights when I'm talking, you know, to be taken seriously. Like, I need it to feel like a club all the time.
Can we like kill some of these lights?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's so much better.
Like, can we make it look like a club in here and kill some of these lights so I can concentrate better? Like, he's so lame. Yeah, that's better.
Oh, that's so much better.
When she says, I told my family about you, they hate him, and then she's like, how about your family? She reaches for something on the counter and puts it in her pocket, and it looks like trash to me, so that's just kind of awkward, but anyways, she grabs something and people are curious of what it was. It looks like trash, I don't know. Maybe it could be something that something was in, wrapped up, you know, who knows? She sticks it in her pocket, and anyways, she's like, how does your family feel about me? And like, he's like, they love you. And it really sounded like he said, I love you. And she's like, I love you too. Oh, and he's like, I said they love you. But yeah, I love you. I love you too. And he says the two, like he cannot be the first one, you know? He's like, but I love you too, you know?
What about your family? We don't have to talk about it.
I love you.
I love you too.
I said they love you.
Oh.
But I love you too.
But I love you too.
I'm sure they're already saying I love you to each other. I'm sure this whirlwind adventure that they're on, they've been texting like, love you so much. Like, they think they love each other because they're so dumb. They don't know what love is, you know? So, like, I'm sure they've been saying it. But on the scene, it's just so funny that Sandoval couldn't let that slide and him say, I love you, and her say, I love you too. He had to call her out and say, like, I said they love you, but okay. Like making her look awkward, like making her look bad, like almost trying to make it look like she's so into him and he's like, oh, I said they love you, but I know you love me. I love you too. But you love me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think he doesn't care about how Raquel looks. Like, he literally just wants everyone to look like they're, like, in love with him, you know? Like, he could not just let that moment slide. Like, it totally sounds like he said, I love you. Like, I think he said I love you, you know? Another reason why I think that he wants to look like everybody's, like, ogling over him from this scene is because of the I love you moment, and then after that moment he like grabs her face and he's holding it and they're next to each other and it looks like he wants to kiss her, but he won't make the move. Like he's almost like kiss me, kiss me, kiss me. You can feel it. Like he's grabbing her face, like he's grabbing her face, he's pulling her closer, he's putting his forehead on her forehead. And it's just so close to a kiss. Like, the way he grabs the face is like this, like, come kiss me, you know? Like, everything for a kiss, but not kissing. Because he's like, you do the kiss. I want you to kiss me on camera. So, like, people see how into me you are. You know what I mean? Like, she said I love you. She looks like she likes him more. And then he grabs her face, pulls her in, foreheads touching. It's like, you think they always forehead touch? Like, no, it's obvious they're doing this whole, like, we can't touch, but we want to grab each other so bad, but we're not touching, but we are. It's like, you guys are touching so much. You're, like, rubbing her face so much. Like, yes, I get to touch you. It's, like, so awkward and gross and disgusting.
We always said, like, we wouldn't do this.
We didn't think it was worth it.
The way that it imploded, it's not... This is not ideal. At all.
I know. Stupidest thing.
And you guys are like doing everything but kissing, you know, like he's trying to get her to kiss him. It really looks like it. And then there's a little thought process of a couple seconds where she's looking at him like, you want the kiss? And like usually he'll go in if he wants it looks like. So she's like looking at him like, you gonna kiss me? Like what happened with Schwartz? Like she's like, you gonna kiss me, you know? Like she gives the gestures of like, let's kiss, you know? She's looking at him and he's looking at her and he's kind of like, come on. And she's kind of like, all right, you're not gonna kiss me. So she smiles and she doesn't take the bait and she hugs him and he's like, I can't kiss you, I'm sorry, there's cameras. Like he knows she wanted to kiss and he rejected it.
No, I can't either. I can't either. It's so weird.
It's like he wanted her to kiss him and then after they kissed him be like, oh my gosh, Raquel, there's cameras, I don't want to kiss, you know? Like act like she's the bad one, like literally. But like they're both the bad one. So like they're both thinking about their reputations here. So they look at each other, they don't kiss, and she hugs him. I can't kiss you, there's cameras. She's like, I know, it's weird, I can't kiss you either. So you guys have been kissing and doing much more for a very long time. Like every time you walk in, you guys probably make out and just get undressed, you know? So it's like, just show us your true colors, just kiss, just do it. Just do it, get it over with. Stop grabbing faces, and when he sits on the couch with her, he gets so close to her legs, like he's like this, like right next to her.
I feel so isolated. I honestly feel like...
It's like, dude, you're sitting on her like a freaking leapfrog, okay? Like, just kiss at this point. Like, they're trying so hard, but to be like, we didn't kiss though. We didn't kiss. It's like, if somebody I knew was behaving that way, I'd be like, just freaking kiss already, man. Like, it's pathetic. Like, you're not saving your image by not kissing. You just look dumb as hell. She's like, it better be worth it. We said we wouldn't do this unless it was worth it. It's like, well, how worth it is it? Because this scene just looks awkward and you guys don't even kiss. Like, at least make it look passionate or something. Like, you know what I mean? This scene is awful. And then they show Raquel in her confessional, and she's smiling like the biggest she's ever smiled. And she doesn't have the big crazy eyes right now. She's like,
Why do you think this happened?
just like not even paying attention. Like I said, when she's not focusing on her facial expressions, they're so telling. And this is like the biggest she has ever smiled. They're like, why do you think this happened? And she's like, I just think like I've never hooked up with somebody that I truly love. So she's like, I loved him as a friend, so I wanted to know what it would be like to hook up with him. No mention of Ariana. She's like, I knew we should have stopped, but those feelings were so strong. It's like, oh my god, you're pathetic. Like, you just wanted to hook up with somebody else's dude, and that's what was the alluring part, you know? Like, you see a girl so awesome and amazing like Ariana, and to be able to actually like pull Sandoval away, who's been with her for 10 years, you feel on top of the world right now, girl, and that's the high you were on. That's what you were enjoying. Like, the fact that he was dumb enough to actually stray, you reeled one in, that's what you were enjoying. But yeah, she's like, I just wondered what it would be like to be with somebody I actually love. It's like, so did you not love James? Because I'm sure she's going to say, no, I didn't know what love was. I didn't love him at the time. But you were so close to marrying the guy. So you said yes to an engagement to someone that you never loved? That makes it sound even worse, like opportunist. Like, why would you say yes? Because you're on TV and you want another season of having a wedding? Like, why would you even say yes? You know what I mean? If you never loved anybody. Like, you're BS. You're so dumb for saying this. You think it makes it okay that you've never been with somebody? It's like, one, this is an excuse that girls make that hook up with everybody, okay? This is what she said to Sandoval's face, I'm sure, to make him feel good. Like, yeah, I was hitting on Oliver, I was with Nima, I was hitting on Oliver, I made out with Schwartz, I hooked up with Joey, but you know what? I didn't love any of them. You're different because I actually loved you. So, like, I'm not just hooking up with every guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it cancels out because I didn't love them. It's like, no, you hook up with anybody that gives you attention and any sort of validation. It's obvious, you know? But for Sandoval, he's so dumb that he's like, well, that makes sense. Yeah, whoever you hook up with and flirt with, you don't love them. You love me. So, yeah. It's like, she doesn't love you. That's totally just the dumb thing that she's been telling Sandoval all this time to excuse her actions, you know? And that's why when he defends her with everybody, he says, like, Schwartz kissed her in one of the interviews, or he says, like, they don't have a connection. They don't like each other. It's not that deep, you know? Because Raquel's been telling him, I love you. I love you. I don't love him. Like, she's sneaky as hell, that one. Like, hearing this, nobody's buying this and falling for it and thinking it's cute, except Sandoval, you know? Like, this confessional is for Sandoval. The first thing Sandoval decides to do when he's on the couch with Raquel is throw Sheena under the bus. He's like, yeah, Sheena said she punched you. Let me see that. And he's like getting a closer look, really trying to show the camera. It's like, you're pathetic, trying to get sympathy.
I should have, like, completely removed myself.
Wait, let me see that.
It hurts.
She's like, I'll punch that bitch.
And I took it like a champ. Is this my karma?
And she's like, well, it hurts. I'm not gonna say it didn't. I took it like a champ. It's like, shut up. Nobody feels bad for you. And she's like, I wonder if this is my karma. It's like, your karma is getting Sandoval. That's your karma. Your karma is, it hasn't even hit you yet, girl. She's like, this is my karma for what we did, like her getting hit. It's like, girl, karma is a lot stronger than that, okay? This is not your karma. That's just the cause and effect. That's the effect of nonchalantly telling Sheena what you told her, which, by the way, you didn't get punched. But that's not like, oh, this is my karma. No, that's very much action-based why you got hit. You know what I mean? It's like, if you were a good person, you wouldn't be so afraid of your karma because you know, like, the things you do are not half as bad as what Raquel just did. You know what I mean? Like how Taylor Swift says, karma is a cat purring on my lap because it loves me.
Karma is a cat purring in my lap because it loves me. Is this my karma?
You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid of karma, girl. You know you have some bad juju coming your way. You've been doing bad things for a long time for you to be afraid of karma like that. And then Raquel says the craziest thing. Like, she's like, I'm so isolated. I have nobody. I don't even know if I have you. And, like, Sandoval pulls away like, what?
I honestly feel like I only have you, your parents. Even with you, it's questionable.
Wait, what?
Like, his face is so funny. Like, he's just like, wait a minute, what? And, like, she's like, you know, like someone that's willing. And she, by the way, sounds like a computer, like a robot. Like, the most she's ever sounded. I'm sorry, but she does. She's like,
am I really going to put my life on the line?
someone that would cheat on someone they love so much.
For someone that would cheat on someone that they love so much, then that makes me think that you would be capable of doing that to me.
Like, she literally sounds like somebody like slow-mode what she's saying. Like, it's crazy. She sounds so slow. And he like shuts it down. He's like, no, don't think that. I care about you, all right? Like, come on. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't care. And she's like, okay. Like, that's all she needs to hear, you know? Like, she's like the Dumbo in the relationship, and he gets to feel smart, like what he always wanted, you know?
And I don't want to get caught up in this whirlwind of a romance. Where I'm like blind to these things.
No, of course. I never do this. When I kissed Raquel, wait a minute, you're not washed up. Your best days aren't behind you.
But she's like, I don't want to get caught in this whirlwind of a romance. Like, that's what you're calling this? Because everybody else is calling this an affair. Okay? That's what you've been calling this? A whirlwind of a romance? Like, that's what it must have felt like this whole time you guys were sneaking around, like a whirlwind romance. Like how Ariana's like, it seems like she's living in her own rom-com. Like, yeah, she is. She thinks this is a whirlwind romance film, when really this is a horror tragedy, okay? Like, so weird, the way that she's, like, warped. Like, she definitely needs some help, you know? But it's just funny, because I feel like Raquel's flexing her power a little bit. Like, obviously, you've been talking to Sandoval before you filmed. You guys should be on the same page. Like, he was at Schwartz's house, I'm sure you guys talked, you know, you FaceTime there, I'm just saying. So it's like, you know how this conversation's supposed to go. You're hitting him with something out of left field while you're on camera for everyone to see. Like, you're wondering if he's a good person. Like, you're saving your own self, you know, one. And two, it's like, you're trying to say this to, like, show how much he needs you. Like, she's like, what if I'm like, what if this is not even good? Like, you're a jerk, you know? Like, what if I don't like you either? And Sandoval's like, no. Like, it's all falling apart, you know? Like, that cannot be the case. Like, no. You cannot ruin your 10-year relationship for someone that doesn't even like you and there's nothing there. Like, that will make you look awful, Sandoval. Like, for Sandoval's sake, this has to work out. Like, there has to be a deep connection, like he's been saying. Strong feelings that overlap everything, that cloud his judgment of his relationship and just makes him act wild. Like, it can't be for just a random chick, you know? So it's like, he needs her a lot more than she needs him. So, like, she's kind of flexing that a little. Like, I don't know, are you worth it? And smiling for him to be like, it is worth it. And then she's like, all right, you know, I'm back in. I'm a jerk. I love this, but I'm just being a jerk to you too, Sandoval. Like, you know, like, she's twisted as well. Like, why even bring this up? Like, this is not what was rehearsed between you guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just want to show the TV, like, look how bad he wants me, you know? And then she's like, I just think it turned out so wrong.
I just feel like it turned out so horribly wrong.
It turned out wrong. Like, it started wrong. How could it have turned out any better? Like, you were not ready to tell Ariana. Like, you thought it was gonna all work out. Like, they were planning. They were gonna break up right the week before the reunion and go on the reunion, and she was gonna look clean, and then they were gonna get together nice and clean. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it all makes sense, because how could it have gone horribly wrong? Like, how would it have gone right? You were never gonna get away with having an affair. Like, if you ever told Ariana what you guys were doing, it was never gonna look good. If Ariana was ever told the truth, you guys were not gonna look good. So, like, it turning out horribly wrong, it's like, because you guys planned on lying and not coming out with your affair and dating a couple months later. That's why it turned out horribly wrong. Because the situation is horribly wrong no matter what. But, like, her aspect of things, like, it turned out horribly wrong. How could it have turned out right for her? I guess if she didn't look bad in all of this, which means it would have never come out, you know? She was never ready to tell Ariana.
Dude, we oh, man.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
I just feel like it turned out so horribly wrong.
That's terrible.
And then they're like, we messed up, man. We messed up. Like, literally minimizing it and acting like it's just a little mess up. She's like, coulda, shoulda, woulda. And they remind me of Will Smith, by the way, with his wife when the entanglement happened, the affair, another affair. And they're like, bad marriage for life, and they high five, and everybody made fun of them because it's like, you look so bad, you know? And this looks the same. Like, it doesn't look like a strong connection of two people that just couldn't help but be with each other because they're so connected. No, this looks like a bad marriage for life, man. Yeah, you know? And they're like, we messed up, like trying to minimize a big thing, which is what the Will thing was too. They were trying to minimize how hurt Will is, you know? It's like they're doing that here, like minimizing what they're doing to Ariana, like, we messed up, man, dang. And then Raquel's like, well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. And Sandoval's like, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And then she's like, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And he's like,
coulda, shoulda, woulda. But
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. 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 Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
woulda, coulda, shoulda. But, like, these are the learning experiences.
Like, you can tell it's like, all he wants is to be right, you know? Like, you're right! You're right! It's woulda, coulda, shoulda. But, like, he got his moment. You're right. This is all he wanted. This is their deep connection, that he gets to be right sometimes because she's so dumb. Like, oh, I see it now. I see the connection now. You guys are like figuring out first grade math problems together. Awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so dumb. Like, he's like, woulda, coulda, shoulda. She's like, woulda, coulda. Like, okay, I'm wrong. He's right, yay! But it's so dumb because it's like, honestly, that phrase is interchangeable. So many people have said coulda, woulda, shoulda, that now you can say woulda, coulda, shoulda, or coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's the same thing, it's interchangeable. So if she had a brain, she could say it's interchangeable, but she doesn't, and he's stupid too and thinks he's right, so there you go. Happy little love story in hell together. Like, great. You both can like try to figure things out and like operate at a Homer Simpson level, you know, for the next like 2 weeks until you guys break up. Like, cool. And they say after this scene, Raquel was not seen or heard from for months or whatever, weeks, I'm not sure. But either way, I think it's because she decided, I'm gonna film this one scene and then I'm disappearing. Like, I don't want to film with anybody else. Like, I wondered before if she had a scene with Sheena, and I'm like, I don't think they did. I think the temporary restraining order is in effect. And we find out this episode that she has filed it, which means she cannot film with Sheena. So after she filmed with Sandoval, I think she's like, this is all I'm going to say. I'm getting my side out there, and then I'm disappearing. My PR team has advised me to disappear. How can I not film with Sheena? Because Bravo is going to want me to film with Sheena, and Sheena's going to ask her the hard questions, you know? So she's like, how do I not film with Sheena? I get the TRO. So I think it is true what I predicted before, that she probably didn't want to film with her, didn't want to do the reunion with her. That's why she got the restraining order, to like not be forced to. I think it makes a lot of sense here, like when you see the timing of the filing in this episode, you know? And when you see the whole disappeared after filming that scene, like that's all she wanted to do and she was out, you know? Our next scene is Lisa and Ariana getting together at Lisa's house, and Ariana immediately cries when she sees Lisa, but she's trying to be strong. She's trying to keep her tears from coming out. It's been 2 days since it all went down, so it's very fresh. She's so strong for not just like being crazy.
I'm sorry. Are you feeling any stronger?
Sometimes I've been like trying to lean into my anger. It's the only thing that keeps me from dry heaving and like, I don't know.
And she's like, I have to lean into my anger. That's what keeps me from dry heaving and freaking out. So I find it really interesting that she is like crying but like holding it in and being strong. And you'll see when Sandoval meets with Lisa, he's doing exactly what Ariana's saying right now. Like, you are so acting for the camera, you know? Like, Ariana's trying to act strong for the camera. You're trying to act like you're a pathetic little baby for the camera. Like, you are so lame, Sandoval. Anyways, Ariana's meeting with her. Lisa starts off by being like, none of us had any idea. You know what I mean?
I mean, none of us really suspected a thing.
Like, so I don't know, people are saying that the big secret in the reunion part 3 is that Lisa knew about the affair the whole time, knew about it for a really long time, and didn't say anything. But I don't know, because this is really messy. Her telling Ariana right now, like, none of us knew, none of us had any idea. I don't think it's gonna come out that she knew, because she's executive producer. She's not going to want to look crazy like that, you know what I mean? So, like, she's not going to be saying this and then look totally horrible in the reunion, you know what I mean? So, I don't think that's the secret. But yeah, she basically just consoles her, and they talk about how she hasn't heard from Schwartz. She barely heard from him today, and he sent some long-winded text, which is obvious, full of dumb, useless words. Yep, that's all he does. Just a bunch of dumb words and being like, I don't want to make my friend feel bad, but I'm just texting you to tell you, like, it's no point. Like, you knew you're texting her not to say Sandoval's messed up. You're not supporting her. He's like, you should go take a trip. You deserve to be, like, on a beach, taking a jet trip somewhere. It's like, what? What are you even saying right now? Like, she deserves to not be cheated on? That's a big one, Like, the whole text, like, I broke it down, like, I read it on screen, and I was just like, this is so lame. Like, you should have just sent nothing, bro. There's no point in this, and it's the longest paragraph ever.
I know. There's gonna be something beautiful for you, you know that? Yeah.
But yeah, Lisa's like, there's something beautiful in the horizon for you, and Ariana's like, yeah. And it's just so sad, this scene. Like, I really do feel for Ariana. Like, Ariana seems so genuine, where Sandoval, it's the complete opposite when he meets with Lisa.
Well,
I need to talk to you.
have like a Coke or something?
Yeah.
Look how Schwartz asks if he can get something to drink, where Sandoval goes straight to Raquel's fridge. Also, I noticed that he asks for a Coke, but he gets a freaking beer. This guy.
Oh my God. How's Ariana doing? I mean, relatively speaking.
How long have you known?
I mark it on my calendar. I guess Tom came to me like a month ago, weeks ago. Yes, he did.
They're just each other's true disgusting lovers. You made a comment to me in October. She's not there for me, trust me.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I did not say that. Tom told me this a month ago. I told him what he needed to do.
This is Tom. I know you were aware of it.
And it was unbeknownst to me.
You knew.
I knew limited information.
So
Okay, I knew about the one night stand, okay? If it was like after like guys' night or sometime around that time. I don't know, was that September or something? But like, here's how I justified it. He tried to break up with her.
Then why did she encourage him to do something?
Katie, you know how hard this is for me to process?
And now, Schwartz will explain how his mind processes this and what he cares about.
My whole reputation's already sullied over this. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm worried about our bars.
That's the bar right now. You're gonna lose a lot of friends.
I'm just a dude trying to get by in life.
Here we go. This is the angle he's been trying to take this whole time. He's just a dude trying to get by.
Got a lot on my mind. Health, my wealth, my family. Health, my wealth, my family. Just man-eating crocodiles in Florida now. I don't know.
You sound like a country song.
I'm just a dude trying to get by in life.
Yeah, so Kristen and Ariana have their scene. It's cute. Ariana says ashes to ashes, dust to side chicks. Beyonce quote, super cute together.
Ashes to ashes.
And dust to side
chicks.
Beyonce.
Her heaven will be a love without betrayal.
Sandoval tries to say that their relationship was based off of convenience, which is what his relationship was with Kristen, like the DVR, he didn't want to break up with her because he wanted to keep his channels on there, or his saved shows, like he tries to rewrite history and act like things were the same, like the relationship was essentially the relationship he had with Kristen. Like, no, it's not. We all remember the relationship. We all remember both relationships because we saw them play out, and they're totally different. It was a relationship based off of connection, bro, not convenience. Like, shut the hell up, you know what I mean? And like, he just tries to make the exes look so bad. Like, his MO is so obvious, and he picks girls that are the same. Like, you didn't even pick originality in Raquel. Like, she's someone that was your friend that you happen to like. You already did that with Ariana. Like, find something else, you know what I mean? And she's like the drunk girl that likes to party and have a good time. Ariana's that girl. She loves to drink and have a good time too. Like, she's so cool when she's partying. Kristen's loves to drink all the time. Like, find something original, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing about Raquel that stands out. You're like a guy of the same sleazy patterns, you know what I mean? It's like cringy as heck. But yeah, Kristen and Ariana have a cute little scene together, and then Lisa Vanderpump and Scandoval have their scene together. In my opinion, Lisa is a little soft on him. She starts it off pretty rough, like she doesn't want to hug him. I think she avoids hugging him because he's wet from the rain, not because he deserves it. But anyway, she kind of starts off strong, and then he starts dry heaving and acting dramatic, so I think she's kind of forced into like being nice to him, you know?
Thanks for seeing me.
Ariana's been here.
I didn't want to hurt her.
Round one. Lady, go!
And Ariana has a hard time trusting people, and I didn't...
Well, what's she gonna have now? I mean, this isn't a trusting place when you're sleeping with one of her best friends.
K.O.
I know. I would love to have a conversation with her when she's not so angry at me. I don't know if I'll ever, which kills me.
Take a moment.
For that to be the last conversation we have is really hard for me to handle.
I've been trying to lean into my anger. It's the only thing that keeps me from dry heaving.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
You have to stop. It's gonna get better. Look, I'm not gonna turn my back on Sandoval. You're not a bad person. You just did a bad thing. There's gonna be something beautiful for you. You know that?
Yeah.
Make sure you know that.
But at the end, she says something like, you're a good person, you just made a bad choice, remember that? And I think it's a little too nice. You should have said something more ambiguous, like, you know, I see some traits in you, Tom, that you might want to adjust because a good guy wouldn't act like this, or I don't know, that's not ambiguous enough. Maybe something like, you know, good people make mistakes, Tom, but you need to learn from it, you know? Or I question sometimes the choices that you make. Something like that, just subtle, the choices you make, not the person you are. Because I know Lisa's brother went through something tragic, and she probably feels for, these guys that are in a really bad spot, even if they put themselves there, you know? So I see the reason why she shows sympathy to this sort of situation, but nonetheless, something a little more harsh was called for. You know what I mean? It's interesting when Ariana had her scene with Lisa, and she's like, I'm trying to be strong, or else I would be dry heaving. And then you have Sandoval who's actually dry heaving and, trying so hard to be sad, you know, to not be strong, to be weak. And it's interesting that the one that cheated and did the horrible thing is the one dry heaving and acting so weak. It's obvious you want the sympathy, you want everyone to feel bad for you. It's just so disgusting. You're not even putting an effort on looking you know, a regular person, like Ariana trying to look strong when she doesn't need to. You're trying to look weak when you absolutely need to because you want the sympathy so bad. It's obvious as heck, you know? But they have their scene, whatever. The scene before Sheena and Sandoval is them all meeting up and having this meal, and they're damn, it feels like a death, you know? And Ariana's in a gold dress while everybody's in black. Charlie shows up. Who invited Charlie? I'm so confused.
Cute. Hi. How are you? Hi. I haven't seen you in so. I know. I think bring us all together. Okay. No. I'm sorry. Hi. Well, you guys look like you're dressed for a funeral. 3 of the hour. It does feel like a death for a lot of us. The death of all. Espresso martinis. Perfect. Do you want one too?
Raquel copied Sheena with this drink too. Ariana's drink order is epic and perfect.
Can I have midnight vultures? Yes.
You are friends with Raquel. That's your best homie. Literally, you talk smack about everybody else. You love Raquel. You're on her side. You were mean at the freaking trip in Las Vegas. But you're here? Why? Who invited you? And even Katie's oh, haven't seen you in a while. And she's I know, bad things bring us together. And she's sitting there being part of it, making jokes nobody's laughing at. And it's just why are you here? Because it's the finale episode and you're I'm here. It's just so funny. Go be with your friend Raquel. Oh wait, she's not really your friend, huh? You made the wrong choice, huh? But whatever, she got invited and they're all sitting there, they're discussing, and Schwartz arrives. Katie invited him. Ariana and Schwartz have a private conversation. Ariana cries and really shows him how she's feeling and how hurtful this is. And he's oh, my bad. Yeah, sorry. He's not even apologetic.
Hi.
Hi. The devil walked in.
Courtney, hi.
At this moment, it looks like Tom thinks he's going to sit down with everyone and hang out.
I don't think anyone here really wants to talk to you, so you might as well just speak to me privately.
This place is cool.
Yeah.
I used to have a bar and cocktail lounge. I feel really bad for Ariana. Too much karma had built up. Came back to get vengeance on Sandoval. Right now, I'm just pissed with Sandoval. He exploited my kindness. Also, our business that we put our hearts and souls into.
He apologized to the business before he apologized to me publicly.
If you remember, Schwartz is the one that encouraged Sandoval to make this post, but does he take accountability for
Can
this?
you maybe do a post? I'm not excusing that. It's up. We were all freaking out. Like, dude, people are completely.
Of course you are. Freaking out.
Completely.
Of course you are.
Boycotting everything. Ironically, this.
Why would somebody want to give their money to that man?
We've like built a little family in there.
Yeah, he f***ed up your family. Because what did he think was going to happen? Cheat on me and be able to walk away unscathed?
So sorry for this whole thing. I'm not looking for sympathy here, but I'm being painted as like this co-conspirator. It's devastating to me.
Devastating to me. I don't think that you are that person. I will not have mutual friends with him.
Schwartz has proven to be a horrible friend to Ariana, and he would have continued to linger around because he can't make decisions, so it's a good thing that she ended this friendship.
I'm not your friend anymore.
Dude. I was always assured by him that he's handling it.
I'm not an it.
Yeah, not it.
Defended him to you even, trying to get him to go. I wish that I didn't miss
Look,
him.
it's obvious that Tom does not care about his friendship with Ariana. Look how he reacts when she cries versus when Sandoval cries.
I'm sorry.
I feel like what I miss is not real.
I'm nervous, fingers in my mouth. Nervous, fingers in my mouth.
She's like, if you say that you feel bad for Sandoval, I'm gonna leave. He's like, I don't feel bad, but our restaurant's doing bad. Right away, you're really trying to get sympathy from the person that was hurt the most? Apologize, dude. He's like trying to get sympathy from Ariana, like, but our restaurant, and she's like, yeah, who would want to give money to that man? Who would want to help that man? He's messed up, and he's like, oh, he doesn't know what to say, you know? It's like, you're not going to get sympathy from anybody, dude. You guys are so gross. Till the end, you Tweedle Tom's fight. Like, it's so crazy. And he ends up leaving with her being like, we're not friends anymore. I'm done with this. I can't have associations with him, you know? And they're not friends anymore, and that's how everything ends with that. The very last scene is Scheana and Sandoval getting down to business. Scheana asks the tough questions. She asks if it was more than once. This is in regards to how many people he's hooked up with. She said, aside from Miami Girl. So Miami Girl is an admission, and then he says, yes, it was another person. And then she's like, do we know the person? Because I'm sure she's thinking Billy Lee. And he's like, no, well, I don't want to talk about it. So, like, the fact that he kind of, like, stuttered on that makes me feel like he was thinking, like, no, you don't know them. And then he's like, wait, there is someone you do know. So, actually, you know, like, there's more than even the one he's admitting to, obviously, you know?
I just want to say that I'm really sorry. When I turned 40, I had this sort of like spiritual awakening. I was going to break up with Ariana regardless.
But you didn't. You your best friend instead. The person I questioned 6 years ago in Miami. I want you to see these text messages that she sent. Okay. Which, by the way, always thought was true. A part of me will always feel like Tom got away with something.
Ariana has always known the truth about that.
So other than Miami Girl, this is the first time.
It was one other time.
Just a random person?
Yeah. Well, no. It's not fair. I'm not going into it. How do I end a relationship? This is not...
The deflector freezes mid-sentence for the last time. He is weakening.
You're an adult and you have a conversation with her.
I tried to. She threatened to kill herself.
You have all her friends there ready to rally around her life. We're doing... You literally say, I'm not happy, and then we pick up the pieces. You don't her friend.
K.O. Winner It's easy to say, I should have broken up with Ariana, which I should have. Emotionally, it was like climbing Mount Everest.
This really proves the point that he didn't break up with her because it hurt him. It made him feel like climbing Mount Everest. What about her?
I love Ariana, and I care about her. I want to look out for her also.
This is all a lie. You didn't want to feel any pain yourself.
I mean, obviously, we're not friends anymore. I'm really gonna miss you.
Like, I just feel like he's saying, like, there's a lot of them and there are ones you know, basically. That's what that means, you know? And she's just like, you're so sick, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, he's just so annoying. And he's like, she wanted to kill herself. And she's like, dude, she's so great in this. She's like, if she said that, then you should call everybody that cares about her and we would be there for her. Like, you're gonna think that she's gonna say, oh, the deception that you're doing to her, continue doing that. You're right. She was in such a weak place. Keep deceiving her. No, nobody's gonna say that's the right choice, bro. She's like, call people that actually care and leave. Like, stop using these excuses that are so bad, you know? And when he first got there, it looked like he had a package for them and Brock's like, what's this? He's like, I don't know, it's just mail. It was like so funny, by the way.
Okay, here we go. It's at the door. Oh.
I wanted to say that I hate how he's like, I wanted to tell her, but at the thought of hurting her, like, I didn't want to hurt her. It's like, dude, sorry, my eye's watering. It's like, dude, not telling her is gonna hurt her. Like, what you're doing is gonna hurt her. You're hurting her. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, it just hurt a lot. And he's like, the thought that I won't talk to her again, and he starts crying. It's like, you didn't tell her because it would hurt you. Like, he's like, I felt like climbing Mount Everest or whatever he says. It's like, it's because it would be painful to you to tell her. Like, it hurts that I'm not going to talk to her or whatever. It's like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, he tries to act like he was saving her feelings. So it's like, so you're effectively cheating on her, but not telling her to spare her feelings. No, I think you didn't want to feel hurt. And it hurt you every time you thought of breaking up with her and losing a great person like that. It hurt you. So you avoided all sense of feeling pain by not telling her. You felt no pain. You're doing what you're doing over here. You're hooking up with her over here. Like, you feel no pain at all with what you're doing. So it's like, you would have lessened the blow by telling her and her not finding out like this. You know what I mean? Like, you were concerned about your own pain, your own level of hurt. I couldn't handle feeling this hurt, so I didn't tell her. But I'm gonna blame her, like, why I didn't tell her. I didn't want to hurt her. It's like, what? You don't care about her. You care about you. It's obvious. Like, you're selfish. You know what I mean? Like, don't act like you didn't tell her because you didn't want to hurt her. You're hurting her every single day and you don't care. You don't want to hurt you. You don't want to feel any pain. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, they just have their final moment where Scandoval once again pleads that poor him, you know? It's like, shut the heck up, dude, for once. And that's the end of the episode. It's really disgusting how it all plays out and how Scandoval is behaving through all of this. Raquel, as well, is just horrific. The way that she's, like, downplaying it, like, oh, we really messed up. Oh my god, it turned out worse than I thought. It was bad when you started cheating. And Scandoval just comes off so disgusting. Ariana reads him for filth, and all of her friends rally up next to her, which is amazing. So that's everything. There was a lot to say. I couldn't go without making a video about this because it was just so juicy, possibly one of the juiciest shows I've seen on reality television to date. So, I mean, Teresa Table Flip was like a hitter, but you know, this is up there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll probably review the reunions, part 1. There was not too much going on, so I could probably mix that into like either one video or a part 2, part 3 video, because as you know, there's some crazy secret that gets revealed that's probably going to need its own like video, so that's probably like a part 3 video. But yeah, I will be releasing those soon. I have some predictions for what the secret could be. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you could give me a like, a subscription, I would really, really appreciate it. So that's everything. Bye.
She was like screaming in the middle of, sir.
This was a bad day for everyone that entered Lala's lion den.
She did lose her dad.
No, of course.
The stuff she said to Lala was not called for.
I was right there, and I'm telling you, Raquel definitely did not say that. Nothing was said like that.
She didn't say something about her dad?
No.
I think she said something along the lines of stop pulling the dad card.
That's not what was said.
I'm blaming.
What happened was, one of, we thought was Lala's friend. This girl basically just creating something out of nothing, like lit that whole fuse.
Whoa. Ariana, you gonna wear this? Oh, what? Ariana, let's have a look. Oh, yeah.
If I could go back in time,
Damn, dude, that's hot.
I would rather hook up with Ariana than Kristen, that's for sure. It's like night and day. I'm just kidding. No, I would never do that to Tom. Again.
Yay! That's really cute. A black bra would be really...
She does have a great ass. Like, amazingly good ass. She does.